Yes, Rick there, please.
Yes, it is.
There have been many times you and I have gone round and round, and we've bled the same blood in the same muds. But this time it's all about business, Jack.
Well, let's do it.
You and I, Friday night, Daddy, at the Fulton County Stadium. The Great American Bath. Dusty rides on the edge of a lightning bolt with a silver saddle, Daddy. Now you come on down there with your limousine and your horsemen. Bring your A-game. Yeah, it's Rick there, please.
This is.
It's time for you to meet your maker in the American Dream. Dusty Rhodes is up for the challenge.
I think the American Dream's barking up the wrong tree.
We'll see if your blood is as red as mine, Mr. Flares.
We will find out indeed, sir.
That's right, Friday night in Flint. You a yellow dog. You hung your phone up on me.
May I take a message?
Yes. Tell him this is Big Dust, the American Dream.
Big Dust, the American Dream?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a friend of his?
More of a nemesis, I guess you could say.
Are you Bob Klepak's friend?
I do not know who this Klepak fella is. All I know is that the other night, when Rick hit me from behind, I saw where the line was drawn, and now... Friday night at Starcade! Myself! Hey! Where did you go, baby dog? That bicycle! He's got a bicycle!
With the silver saddle, Daddy. What is up, everybody? We are back for another Thursday night here on the Happy Hour Show. I guess we'll call it the Happy Hour Show, the Happy Hour, whatever you want to call it. Right now, as you can see, I am rolling solo, but that's okay. We've got, I know Mal is going to be here at some point, I believe. And then, unfortunately, Todd cannot make it tonight. So we'll see what we'll get through, what we'll talk about, what I will decide to drink, and when Mal gets here, what she decides to drink. And who knows, maybe we'll have some other guest appearances. But welcome to this first show of February. Hard to believe we are now into the second month of 2024. January went through kind of quick, I think. I think it definitely got through a little quicker than I was expecting. So hopefully that's good things as we move towards stuff. I'm definitely looking forward to getting back to the warmer spring type weather. Not necessarily summer. I'm more of a spring, fall kind of guy. Like to keep it in that 70s area. But fortunately, knock on wood, have not had a ton of snow. I know some of you around the country have, but I've been pretty fortunate here. But I'm going to crack open a beer here in a bit, and whatever you guys are drinking, as always, let me know by dropping it in the comments to tell me what you're actually enjoying out there as well. Always want to see if there's some things I want to pick up. Is there some things you want me to try to pick up? Feel free to share a comment on that as well. And that being said, I'm going to crack open one now because it's been a long day heading into a hopefully, I wish it'd be a long weekend, but it'll be a short weekend probably. But tomorrow is Friday and I am ready to get to it. But I'm going to crack open one of the other hot bullets that if you haven't seen this is one of the latest reviews up on the channel. It is the Magnum Edition. It is the Imperial IPA. And so this version, it is bigger than what the, pardon the pun, right? It is bigger than the original hot bullet. That was at 8%. This is at 9.5% ABV. Obviously, Magnum, it's got Magnum hops, so don't just go by the size. It's got lots of Magnum hops throughout. The beer, although it does have other hops that are in play too, but this is a very nice Imperial IPA. And if you know Sierra Nevada, you pretty much know you're going to get a solid beer out of Ken Grossman and his crew over there. And this one, to me, does not really disappoint. Just out of the can, you know, sometimes you want to put it in the glass so you get all the aroma. But this one has so much resiny dankness coming out. You could just put the can to your nose and pick up a nice tone of the beer itself. Speaking of other beer stuff, I do have some beer news this week. Last week, I did not have beer news as just getting back from a week off or a week out when I had COVID. So 2 weeks back from COVID for the second time. feeling a lot better now. Can actually probably start hitting the gym again this weekend. That's one thing when you get it, and they're like, they don't want you to get back in and working out until about a couple weeks. So definitely missing the gym, missing getting in there and doing that stuff. So looking forward to that. The beer, check that out. If you haven't seen it, there it is right there. Nice bubble action, great carbonation, great look at the beer. Go to a bar. That's how you want your beer to be poured, right? You want it to look like that. So yeah, nice head on it. Oh, but it smells so good. Just like total West Coast bomb. Yeah. Little resiny sweetness, piney action taking place. Fruit wise, little citrus base, orange, tangerine in play. Little bit of a not as heavy as much, but you get a little bit of that grapefruit type feel, but the malts come through so nice. Very well balanced. It's Sierra Nevada. Again, we always know they do a pretty good job. So yeah, so whatever you guys want to talk about tonight, let me know in the comments. I know you guys always are great at coming up with some various topics before I start throwing some other stuff up there. Did you do a dry January? I know a good amount of people that actually did a dry January. Over in the beer news, we're going to be talking about that a little bit on some of the things that we're seeing as far as trends coming out of that and where we're actually at now in the beer world. It's kind of interesting. I don't think we're at a spot where the craft beer bubble has burst, but it's definitely getting pricked a little bit out there. So we'll talk about that here in a bit. Give another drink in here. It's been a long time since I did like a solo live, so I always like it. It's always fun. It's always entertaining. It keeps your mind going. I tell everybody who has a YouTube channel, you should go solo from time to time because it keeps the saw sharpened for you. But if you haven't caught up with me on some of the other stuff, and thank you for those that have been now hitting me up on TikTok. I started getting more involved in that site and actually getting a pretty good build up over there. If you haven't been to the website, make sure you also check out the website. I'll drop a link there in the chat. The website has a lot of stuff, not just the beer reviews, but a lot of beer news and different things. The podcast is on over there as well. So a few different things you can actually check out the beer site for some awesome type stuff too. And I thought I had the link on there, but if not, I'll have to type that in so that you can actually see that. But the website, pretty cool. What else are we going to talk about here right now? Seems like everybody's still coming together. Hey, there's my man Bart. Bart's in the house. Cheers, Bart. Great to see you, brother. Happy Thursday to you. Hopefully you're doing well. Sad news out of New Jersey as Bart's here now. Flying Fish, of course. They were supposed to try to get acquired by Cape May up in New Jersey, and that fell through. So they closed their doors. I don't know if they went full Chapter 11 as of yet. I think they haven't, but Flying Fish was doing some good beers, I thought. So you're not going to have them out there, at least for the time being. You also have one in North Jersey. I think it was, I want to say Alematic, I believe, ales that they actually have closed their doors. So you have some interesting stuff happening. One of the more interesting things I just did the review that I posted, I think last week on the DeClaw beer, not realizing it being here in Maryland. If you didn't see that review, you can check that out. But the beer was brewed in Ewan, New Jersey. So they were actually, they went under or were either bought out or joined up, how they did it with River Horse out of Ewan. River Horse in Ewan is the parent brewery that took them over, basically. But I didn't know if they moved their beer distribution up there. When I looked on the can, it was brewed in Ewan. So apparently they did. I don't know if they did it for all beers, but it's kind of interesting seeing DeClaw now having canned and, produced in New Jersey. Just up to I-95, but still it's known as being kind of that Maryland type brewery here. So interesting along those lines. But you have some of that stuff taking place out there for sure. But Bart, are you drinking anything tonight, my friend? Let me know if you are. I know you always have some decent stuff as you're kicked back and relaxing. Another good thing about New Jersey, which Bart, I'm sure you're probably happy to hear, they kind of pulled back the reins a little bit on the craft beer Beer. I should put that in the mix. On the breweries in New Jersey, where now they can actually start to have events, and I believe they're actually able to start having some food type stuff there too. So, shout out to them. Shout out to my buddy over at Spellbound. They should be definitely celebrating up there, where they finally, the legislature's letting them do some stuff. So I don't know why I'm getting the stutters all of a sudden. I don't ever have that happen, but I do at this point. I don't know. Maybe the beer's kicking in already. It's been a long day, folks. Long day. Bar says, all good here. Sorry to hear about Fly Fish. Like yeah, they were decent. I was getting some of their stuff when I was coming up there the last couple years after coming back to the East Coast, and to now see where they're closing their doors is not a good thing. So it's pretty sad that that's actually happening. But c'est la vie in the beer world, right? Got JT in the house. Cheers, JT, my friend. Up there in Chicago, or Chi-Town, as the kids call it. Hopefully you're doing well on this first day of February. And just checking my email thing here. But Chicago, I guess you got a thing about Hop Butcher to talk about tonight on the beer news as well. I lived in Ewan for a year when I worked for the state DOT. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know Ewan's up in North Jersey. I can't remember exactly where it's at, but I think it's not too far from like Orange and all of that. So yeah. But it happens. Maybe if I get back up to North Jersey, I can swing by and check them out and ask them some questions about them having DuClaw now under them. Speaking of breweries, if you haven't seen the question of the day, or the week, I should say, because it's a weekly question, out on the poll, how often do you visit breweries? Let me know. I'm kind of curious as what you guys are doing out there. If you go to breweries, and if you do, how much do you go to a brewery? Just because as we're seeing some of this fall off, I'm just wondering how some breweries may be impacted. So it's my own little straw poll to take, I guess. Jimmy in the house. Cheers, my friend. What is going on, brother? Happy Thursday to you as well. Jimmy, Cuffin Stuff Barbecue. Man's always making some good food, so make sure to check out Jimmy over at Cuffin Stuff. He's always got something going strongly on the grill. And hopefully your year is off to a great start. It's been a while since we had spoken, so hopefully things are going well. And then we got Emerson's in the house. Cheers, my friend. Solo Sup. When it got me a Voodoo Ranger 9%, get the face numb before 9, amigo. Cheers. You are a big fan of the Voodoo for sure. So yeah, I just posted the one on the Tropic Forest, which I have one can of that left, and I'll probably drink here tonight. But Tropic Forest was not my favorite of the Voodoo series. Spoiler if you haven't watched the video yet. Didn't hate it, but definitely was not up to what I on par. But it's funny, I see more people commenting, whether on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or whatever. Like, apparently, like a lot of people I thought New Belgium has really fallen off. Maybe it's something with the Kirin effect, since now technically New Belgium is not a craft brewery. They're under Kirin. Took them over. Maybe they're squeezing them somehow. I don't know. You never know. Which macro news, we'll talk about that here in a second too, about some of the stuff that AB and Bev is actually doing that's actually shaking up some things as well. So there's some good stuff to talk about for beer here in a bit. Thursday night. Yes, it is, Brandon, and cheers, buddy. We are ready to rock and roll. And you know what? It was Thursday. That means tomorrow is Friday. We can start heading to the weekend, right? So this is where we come to get the groove going first to head into that weekend. But this Hot Bullet Magnum Edition, if you see it out there, because I think it is, if I can remember correctly, is it noted on here? I was thinking it might be a limited run they're doing with it. But if you get a chance, I would definitely say this one definitely to pick up as a double IPA. So this and the Tropic Forest were both 9.5, but much better with that one. Much better. Yeah, Tropic is a bit much. I will say the one thing about the Tropic Force, you do get smacked in the face pretty much with pineapple and mango. Those come out really well in the beer, but you do get, as you're going down through it, and I'm drinking a 12-ounce can, so I'm not even getting. They do have the 19.2. probably wouldn't recommend the 19.2, but even in a 12 ounce, I started getting a little bit tired with it as I actually drink it down. So I'll crack it open here and give you a little bit more of a rundown here in a bit for those of you that hadn't seen the video. But it's I missed the old New Belgium. One of the guys told me earlier, he put us in comments like he saw I mentioned I haven't done the new fat tire. He pretty much said don't. It's disappointing. So they pretty much changed. Like fat tire used to be an amber ale, now it's a golden ale, which I'm not a huge fan of golden ales anyway. But they just totally did a whole revamp. And now I did pick up, and I'll have this probably for next week, the new Sam Adams. I'm finally going to do the new remastered beer review on that one. So I'm interested to see how that actually tastes. So I'll be doing that next week. But that one's a little bit more, okay, we upgraded by doing a couple things. New Belgium, they could pretty much just threw everything out the window and said, let's start over and try this instead. So that's a little bit different, a little bit rough. It's kind of like the new Coke experiment with beer, right? Like, why'd you get rid of the other one? So it's a risk. It's a risk. I'm going to the brew pub here in Woodstown tomorrow night. They're doing pretty good since they opened up. Nice. I need to get out to some more of the breweries here. I keep saying that. The last one I went to was Pickett Brewing. I need to get over to Pariah Brewing. Pariah is making some pretty good noise. I see a lot of guys that are doing some reviews on them on the internet. I had their beers at the beer fest a couple years ago, and I know they're pretty decent. I need to get over to the brewery. I've actually met the owner there who invited me to stop by at some point. I just haven't done it, and I don't know why. I don't know why, because it's right here. I think for me, it's like 10 or 15 minutes, so it's not even far. It's just you say you're going to do something, and then all of a sudden, you know how it is. Things start happening, happening. Next thing you know, it went from January, now you're into September. You're like, what happens to the rest of the year? So just got to put stuff down on the calendar. They do say if you write stuff down, you're 90% chance of you actually making it happen. So I just need to plan it. I need to plan it and do it. JT's got the Dovetail out with the Vienna, still his favorite beer. Dovetail's pretty nice. Like the Dovetail I've had, I did enjoy for sure. Dovetail, if you're in Chicago area, that's one that you might want to check out, especially if you're more of a lager type fan. Next time in Chicago, I got to make more of a run. I only got to see Hop Butcher last time, although I did try a couple other beers. We went to I can't think of the name now. It's slipped my mind. The burger place across the street from Hop Butcher. I think I had a couple different beers from a couple different breweries at that one because they got local beer on tap. But yeah, but obviously Metropolitan's closed down now. Have to try to get the Ravinia when I'm back, show some support for Miles Brewery. But Dovetail, would love to get over to that one. Funky Town. There's a lot of good stuff around Chicago. So you can definitely have fun in that city. Called Farmers and Bankers Brewery. Okay. Okay. I've heard of that. Yeah, Bad Apple. That's what it was, JT. Bad Apple. Thank you, sir. I don't know how I forgot that. You know, I didn't forget how good that hamburger was. That's probably, I mean, if Todd was here, he would agree. Probably the best hamburger I've had in my life was from Bad Apple. It was just that good. Farmers and Bankers. Okay. Are they South Jersey then, Bart? Are they like down towards the shore or kind of coming up towards Philly? I may have to jot them down. Oh, I say, well, the last brewery I take that back that I went to wasn't in Maryland. It was actually New Jersey. It was the one over there in Mount Laurel. It was it's the one that's the two together. I take a look at my Yelp here to see which one it was. I remember the name of it. Do, 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 do. I need to put some standby music here on the channel. uh, check-ins. My check-ins. Gotta scale back. I believe it's slipping my mind right now. Mhm. Where's it at here? And it was just like a brewery, just like kind of like stumbled across. It was just like all the times I've been coming up here, you've been here, and I did not know you were back here. hung in there. Last year in Florida, Three Daughters Brewing is a pretty cool brewery down in Florida if you get down to that area. Three Daughters is on the west side over there in Clearwater. That was a nice brewery. That's where I had that orange popsicle drink there. That was pretty tasty. Actually, that's the one like I picked up and took like either 4 or 6 pack. I can't remember back to the hotel. Where is this brewery at that I went to? Did I skip it? See, bar, you probably know what it is too. Because there's two breweries that moved into the same thing together, same building. About the Hops Brewing. That's what it was. About the Hops was actually pretty decent. And then can't remember who it was that were next to them on the other side, but I think I had their stuff too. Begin with a C. I'll have to look a little closer on my thing here to see. But anyway, good brewery there in New Jersey as well. Bart is cracking out the hot tea tonight. Oh, you're not feeling well, my friend, that you're doing just a hot tea. Um, that's what I was having when I had COVID a while back, was hot tea. Usually I'm not a tea drinker, but you know what? It actually worked. Half Acre last weekend. Sample some of the BAs. Yes, yes. There you go. Oh, barrel aged stouts are coming out from everywhere right now. This is that time of year that a lot of people are releasing stuff. Rusty in the house. Cheers, Rusty. Great to see you, my friend. Happy Thursday and first day of February to you as well. And yeah, I don't know. Mal might have got caught in traffic or something. I don't know because she was probably coming from the brewery. So, uh, the other one, Woodstown, Salem County, right on 40, exit 2, route, and I'm about 9 miles from Delaware. Oh, you're not even that far from here. So, yeah, Delaware. Oh, speaking of Delaware, what was Delaware Memorial Bridge that just had that big accident that took place? No, it was the Bay Bridge, the one that if you're going like to Ocean City, they had like a 40 car wreck or pile up the other day. It was like so foggy, cars couldn't see anybody to the last second. It was kind of crazy. Good, good. Okay, you're feeling fine. Just a hot tea. Got you. Yeah, appreciate that. Oh, you were really sick back in October. Did you? Was I don't want to have you divulge anything like that and everything, but I was gonna say I didn't know if it was COVID or something different. But yeah, being sick sucks for sure. So, but it happens. I'm glad you're doing well and got all recovered from that too. Uh, Actually have to go to a new dentist next week, so that'll be an interesting experiment. It's always interesting when you go to the new dentist for the first time. So, oh, but yeah, this is a nice beer. Sit back and enjoy. And if anybody else has any beers out there, feel free to drop those in here as well. Well, I'm actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and jump into some of the beer news, and then Mal does get here. We'll catch up on some other stuff when she is here as well. That being said, let's go ahead and jump over. Right, all right, all right. Uh, oh, you did have COVID too. Okay, so it was a COVID. So we both had the COVID brothers. All right, so there you go. Yeah, I mean, with this one, it really didn't hit me as bad. It was the second time I had it. I had some fatigue, but overall, it wasn't terrible. Um, I didn't go to work one day just because I was tired because I couldn't really sleep the night before. Had a little bit chest congestion, stuffiness, but more tired than anything from that. And then it got better each day. But I already had like the vaccination, all that kind of stuff. And then I got it on Wednesday and it was Friday or Saturday when I picked up the Paxlovid. And that Paxlovid went right to work pretty much. So good to go in the end. Well, Todd couldn't make it tonight. He had something that popped up earlier, and then Mal is supposed to be making it. But when you're the manager of a brewery, you never know where you're going to get in. We know when you're managing a brewery. So we'll see what she gets here, but she is on the way. I got Eric in the house. Cheers, Eric. COVID last April sucked. Definitely knew I got it. The Paxlovid worked. Well, yeah, Paxlovid is solid, and It's funny. When I got COVID, I felt like I had a cold or whatever, but I didn't feel like it was COVID from what I had previously. And my wife was like, "You got COVID?" I was like, "No, it's a cold." Or so I was like arguing with her, and I finally went and did the test, and it, bam, positive. So, yeah, yeah, wives are right a lot of the time, that's for sure. So then I like self isolated for a few days, but then she ended up picking it up anyway. So, still no vid. Oh, really? No vid at all. Look at you. You're out there willy nilly going to all the breweries. Mm. I think I actually got it when I was either I ran around to a couple stores the day before. Either I got it there, or she thinks I got it from our gym. But in our gym, everybody wipes off the equipment and sanitizes the equipment, or you're supposed to. I know before I use it, I wipe it down and I wipe it down after. But I don't know. Who can really tell? You don't know where it's out there in the air. Super tired a long while. Yeah. That's the thing. You can be like, get it and get over it, but you can still be worn down some like that long vid or whatever they call it, where people have it for a good amount of time. That can be something that's just a pain, I'm sure, to have it for that period. I kicked ass for 8 days, weak as hell. Well, there you go. Weak as hell, huh? That can tire you out for sure. So I think we kind of got Mal here. I think.
Kinda.
Are
Hi.
you at the
I'm
hey?
at Liquid Love Brewing.
Oh,
This is where Chu is the taproom manager.
oh, okay, okay. It's so quiet there,
So,
though.
yeah, I had him turn off the music because I knew that like Grand Funk Railroad would f up your recording. So, nope.
True.
We have to watch for customers though, because if a customer comes in, we have to turn the music back on. I have to go in the back by the brew house. So,
Oh, gotcha. So we got Mal on location tonight. So is it just slow there tonight then?
yeah, it's pretty slow right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been unusually slow here tonight, actually, which is funny because it was so nice out today. We kind of thought more people would show up.
Yeah. Nice out in Chicago, so does it mean that you got some warm weather?
Yeah, it was like what 49 degrees today?
That's warm in
Huh?
Chicago for February.
Oh, Chu has to pass behind me. I have to turn the camera. Go ahead. It's showing the ceiling. You're fine.
Come on,
Because
Chew, man.
he is
We gotta get
actually
him
on the
over that.
clock right now, so he has
We
to
gotta get,
actually go into the brew house and stuff.
we gotta get him over that phobia there and get him on camera. So what are you drinking from Liquid Love?
I am having their Megan. Um, I'm trying to like be able to see the chat too, but I can't. Megan is a dry Irish stout. It's similar to Murphy's, I guess, would be the
Okay.
closest. Quite tasty though, very, very dry, but I really like it. So, and this was single-handedly done by Mike the brewer, who is very proud of his work because it was his first time doing a solo beer. So,
Yeah.
cheers to Mike.
Mike the Brewer is a pretty good brewer name. Mike the Brewer. Feel like.
Yeah, Mike the brewer. It's a great
Yeah.
name.
I mean, if Bob can be the builder, why can't Mike be the brewer? So seems like it
No,
works.
don't get me wrong, because he's a giant poop face, and I hate telling him that his beer is good because he's a poop face, but that's cool. I tell him that in person, and I tell him that when I'm not around him. I wouldn't say anything behind someone's back unless I've said it to their face first.
Well, there you
He's
go.
such a
Yeah.
grump, and it makes me happy because I try to make him uncomfortable by being the opposite of grumpy. You're fine, Chew. Come on through.
Gotta
There
play
you
the
go.
play the Grinch song for him around Christmas time.
But yeah, so super fun being on location for this live stream.
Yeah, yeah, it is pretty cool there. So, well, since you're there at Choose Brewery, we were talking about. So I was about to go into beer news, but then you popped on, so I won't do the beer news quite yet. But you want to tell people about Liquid Love? JT's in the house because JT's right
Sure.
there in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, Liquid Love Brewing Company, they've been open 6 or 7 years. I got their logo behind me. If I can, 7.5 years. I'm sorry. Got their logo behind me, so you can see it a little bit. It looks like the Laverne and Shirley thing from the TV show from way back. But they're very eclectic, lots of bright colors, strange murals. I'm going to do kind of a 360 thing. So you have like the mouth painted on the wall back over here, which is super fun. I have people hiding so they're not getting into the pictures. So that's fun. Got their little neon liquid love sign, which you can't see because it's all blurred out from being all bright colors. But yeah, it's very eclectic, artistic. This painting over here is my absolute favorite. Yes, it's hung on an angle. Yes, the artist requested that it be hung on an angle. It is supposed to be that way. It's very disturbing to look at up close. And putting it off angle is even better. You're good now. I'm not going to spin the camera around. I have a lovely lady here named Annie, who's going to be a taproom manager at a location that Liquid Love just purchased, a restaurant and bar. So in partnership with this other business. So she and I were going through all the beers today and discussing some of them as she's getting ready to take on the taproom manager position over there.
Is she camera shy as well?
She appears to be, because when she heard I was doing a 360, she literally hid herself underneath the bar. Like she curled up in a little ball under the bar to not be in the picture. So Chu says it's his soulmate.
Well, if you're a taproom manager, you got to be out among the people. Tell her come over and say hi. Tell her we got to ask her some questions about the beers she likes.
You want to come say hi? Oh, she's coming. Look at that. Oh, turn. Wait, that way. There she is.
Turn around. Hello. I didn't play turn around yet. Hello. So were you camera shy over there?
Just a little.
Just a little. You're hanging around with Chu too much if that's the case. So
he's never been purposefully on camera. It's happened on accident once or twice.
So what are some of your favorite beers there that you're enjoying?
Some beers?
Do you have do you have some favorites?
Yeah, there's this one. Patio Napa is aged in bourbon barrels.
It's an imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels.
Really good. It's one of my favorites.
She's apparently grabbing me the cans so we can show the can art a little bit. So there's the Patio Napa. It has a guy sleeping in a hammock, but it's a 12% or 12% imperial stout.
Put it back up there again, Mel.
Yeah, I'm trying to get his face and then the name of the beer. Yeah, so kind of fun.
Okay.
It's a tasty one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a version with Mexican chocolate. So it's like chocolate and cinnamon. Oh, so good. Yeah, that's delicious.
Well, it's a barrel-aged stout. It has to be, right?
Fair enough. You know me. Usually when I'm on your show, I avoid those barrel-aged stouts because I'll be falling over and you'll be trying to teach me how to shotgun by the end.
Yeah.
And
somebody's
failing.
Supposed to be able to outdrink. You're supposed to be able to outdrink everybody, but yet you pass on the big beers. So
only on your show, sweetie. Just for you.
Maybe you can only outdrink like Brian or Shane or Blue or them guys.
Oh, I can definitely outdrink all of them.
Leagues. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. I made them suffer. I gave them all terrible hangovers the next day. I was very proud of my skills.
You gave them a Malort, so that alone made you a bad person.
Yeah, the Malort didn't make them drunk, though.
No,
the Malort didn't make them drunk. It just made them suffer. That's different. You've had Malort, right?
Yeah.
Malort. Oh, Annie hasn't had Malort.
You got to train her.
Oh, we got to have her have Malort.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Chicago staple. You got to try it. Shut up, Chu. Don't tell her it tastes terrible before she tried it.
Does he have Malort there?
Nah, it's not a full bar. It's a brew house only, so just brewery.
Okay.
So yeah. But at some point with chips, yes, they have chips. But at some point we're going to have to make sure either your staff or I is going to make sure that you have Malort, one or the other. I'm sure your staff will step in before I ever get there.
It should be part of your
It
interview
tastes like
process if you're in
it tastes
Chicago.
like the laundry water after a Bears game that's been dumped on a tire fire. Her face was beautiful when I said that.
So you're winning people over with it. Yeah.
Yep. It's good stuff. You gotta have it.
Yeah. We see some of these other comments here. Bart said cheers to Eric there. Emerson, have whatever
Hi, Emerson.
JT is drinking. Yeah, JT's got good stuff. He's drinking a Dovetail
Oh.
Vienna right now.
Dovetail Vienna is so delicious.
Cheers, Alex. Hopefully you're doing well too.
Ravinia Brewing Company is coming out with a Vienna lager, brand new, and it's called Community Matters, which is kind of poking fun at the Ravinia Festival.
You actually reminded me because I didn't put that in Beer News, so I forgot. I saw that earlier this week. So they got the Community Matters coming out, and they pretty much released a statement about going back against the festival. But they're also liking it. We don't got a lot of money. We got to do something type thing. So it's kind of interesting. So
So I suggested they do a sour and call it sour grapes, but they apparently with the Community Matters instead, which is fine. But yeah, so Community Matters Vienna Lager is our response in beer form to what's going on.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm waiting to see what all happens there still. So I'm glad they made a statement.
I haven't gotten to taste it yet though.
Yeah. I'm just glad they're making a statement about it right now as well.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling several of our upcoming beers are going to be statement worthy.
There you go.
Just as because honestly, Ravinia Festival has enough money to keep this lawsuit going for probably 4 or 5 years because they know if we get them to the final levels of court, we win.
Yeah.
They want to bury us before we can get to that point. So they're going to try to drag it out as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hopefully we can stick it out and then still stick it to them. And the usual.
Too bad we didn't have the Bears make the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, and we got Taylor Swift to come out to Ravinia.
Oh yeah,
Taylor Swift to swing support to Ravinia.
Well, I think she's played there before. Actually, I'm pretty sure she has.
At the festival, you're saying she played. Mm-hmm. I'm saying have her come to the brewery. I'm saying have her come to the brewery.
Oh God, can you imagine? Oh my God. I can't even picture. Our tap room has 10 tables. 10.
People would line up and wait if Taylor Swift was in there drinking. I'm just saying.
I know. We'd have a line down the block. The line would reach all the way to the festival.
Yeah. At some point, it'd become a block party, I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm sure it would. Oh, man. That would be crazy. No, if we could get one, just one celebrity who's performed there, you're fine, darling. He's literally crawling on the floor to pass behind me. I don't know if anyone just saw his back go along over here on the corner, but yeah, he literally just crawled on the floor.
I think he's overselling it now, personally.
I think so.
No, last time I was in Chicago, I know I talked about standing right next to me was Chance the Rapper. So
fun.
Right downtown, I should have talked to him and stuff, and yeah. I'm like, hey, go over to Ravinia.
Yes, please. Yes. I have a tiny little corner and an itty bitty outlet, and he can set up whatever he wants. It'll be fine. Just, do something.
There you go.
I just can't advertise for it because apparently that's against the rules right now.
Against the rules, no advertising. Yeah.
I can't advertise that we're having music, but if music shows up, we're good.
Yeah. Cheers, Vanessa, and welcome back, my friend.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hello to Vanessa. Yeah, Mal's on location right now at Choose Establishment. So
I certainly am.
Were you off today, or you just went from one to the other?
Yes and no. I had some things to do earlier, but yes. And then I came by here, and then their new taproom person was here, and she was supposed to have a training session on the beer with the owner, and the owner was unavailable, and she said, well, my wife is here, she knows the beer.
Yeah.
And he put me to work.
That's
So,
what he does. Yeah.
so I ran her through all 14 taps and a couple of the cans, and we did kind of a once over on the Liquid Love beer for her tap room. So, and then did a walkthrough on the brew house. So,
Yeah.
so I gave a training session for a place that I don't work at. Is really what happened. Because my husband's like, oh, she knows about beer.
Well, they paid you back in drafts, so you know.
That's true. That's true. Oh yeah, Chew, I'm not planning on paying for my beers today, and I will not tip you, just so you know. No tips for you.
Cheers, Paul.
Oh,
Good
Paul
to
is
see
here.
you.
PA Brew News is there. Chew says hi.
And Bart says hello to Alex. Hey, Dave's in the house. Cheers, Dave. Grand
Oh,
Funk,
beer in
always
front.
good.
Dave's here too. I know. Dave should be over here at Liquid Love with me.
Dave, have you been to Beer in Front yet? I mean, not Beer in Front. Have you been to Liquid Love yet? Man, I'm getting all confused tonight.
Liquid Love's such an itty bitty little thing. Like a lot of people haven't been here before, so.
Yeah, but Dave gets all around Chicago, so.
Dave does get all around Chicago, so maybe.
Yeah. Bart said I saw Grand
I'm going
Funk
to tilt the camera up again so Chew can pass. Isn't that a lovely ceiling, everyone? See the lights, and there's weird little purple boards all there. I don't know what those are for.
The bright lights. Yeah.
Sound dampening, apparently.
Bart saw Grand Funk in the mid-70s. Yes, I'm freaking old.
Oh, I saw Grand Funk open for Don't Fear the Reaper. Who sings Don't Fear the Reaper? More cowbell. Blue Oyster Cult. I saw Grand Funk open for Blue Oyster Cult at up in Wisconsin once. That was a fantastic fucking show. That was good.
Yeah, it had to be pretty rocking show, I'm sure. JT, hey Val, hey Paul, what's up, Vanessa? JT hitting everybody there at one time.
Hi, JT.
Nice, yes. Hey Emerson, JT, hello there. Hey Dave.
Everybody's saying hi to each other. Early on in the show.
Yeah, barrel-aged stouts.
Stouts. Yes, this one's not barrel-aged, but yes, stouts.
JV, okay. Oh Lord, they finally did it. Todd and Shannon going tonight because they're out shopping for curtains. That's funny, JV. Yeah. Come
Todd and Shannon must be curtain shopping.
I guess it was a curtain call that you just did there.
Nice.
Yeah. You'd have to give me the little pity laugh there, but yeah. Upgrading their perfect green screen.
Nice.
Good evening, Emerson. Hello, Mal. Trez in the house.
Emerson.
Trez. Home battle in the damn flu. The beer doesn't taste the same, but I held my nose to finish it anyway. That's it. You finished it, my friend.
That's right.
We're not cold, crisp beer now, can we? Nope. Mom didn't raise a quitter.
Hey, could I ask a favor? Could you play the noise to make Chew get me another beer?
Yeah, I can do that. What do you want? Move it now.
Surprise me, darling.
Barrel aged, 12%.
I told him to surprise me, so I don't know what's coming now.
I'm telling him to give you the barrel age.
Well, there's a couple barrel aged ones.
And Dave, welcome. Dave, welcome back to drinking again. He's having a Ravinia Vienna right now.
Oh, fantastic. You're trying that beer before I even got to try it. I'm the taproom manager. I haven't gotten to try that one yet.
I told you, Dave's the man in Chicago.
I know, he's right on top of things.
He does not miss a beat.
I mean, I know what's in the recipe. Like, I'm aware of the beer. I just haven't gotten to try it yet. Chew, did you hear that? Dave from Beer in Front is drinking one of the Vienna lagers from Ravinia right now. Yeah. She was like, tell him to bring it to Liquid Love.
Listen, hey to Trez.
Hey, guys. So Chew, the best bartender in the world, apparently, just gave me a beer. Is anyone else seeing a problem with this?
I mean, he wants you to have a big head on there. I mean, but it'll settle.
It's not even beer at this point. It's all bubbles.
No, that's about 7/8 foam in that glass, I guess. So yeah. Maybe he's new.
So-
Maybe he's new on the tap.
This is the same beer I just had. Actually, it's the Megan Dry Irish Stout, because that's the one that's served on Nitro.
Yeah.
You were supposed to
nice.
surprise me with something else. I just drank that. It was a surprise. That is true.
We're going to have Chew take the certified beer server test on how to pour a beer, apparently.
Oh, can we please do that? Yes.
That is the perfect way to do this.
Chew keeps apologizing every time he has to turn on the dishwasher to clean a dish.
Oh, I don't even hear the dishwasher, so you're good.
Oh, that's
He's
good.
fine.
See,
Yeah.
he's not even hearing it. You're fine. Oh, there's a customer coming in. Well, hold on. Let's make sure they're coming in here. Oh, there's nothing else open on the strip mall, is there? What time is it?
8:40. Oh, 7:46.
Yes, they're in a car. A white car? A white SUV wannabe kind of car? Is that your ride? I don't know if it's a customer or her ride. Well, we're going to find out in a second
Like
here.
you guys are looking for the FBI or something out there. What the hell is going on?
That's her ride, apparently. So we don't have to turn the music on then. We're good.
There we go. Vanessa
That's
just
good
passed-
because I'm pretty sure Bob Seger would mess up your copyright thing.
Probably, yeah. Vanessa said she just passed kidney stones last week and a cold hit
Aw.
right after. Oh, but she feels better today. Not 100%, but she's feeling better. So that's good, Vanessa.
I'm glad to hear
Maybe
you're
you need-
feeling better, Vanessa.
You need some of the hot tea that Bart's having, Vanessa, with a little whiskey. Hey, what's up, Alex? No, nice, my friend. Look at you, big dog. Now in the monetized
So
stage.
excited.
Good for you.
I'm so happy
That
for
is-
you, Alex.
That's awesome, my friend. That's awesome. Congrats. Welcome to the M world. Would they make a pull my finger in response to the lawsuit? Oh, there you go. Pull my finger. There you go.
Yeah, but people might think the beer tastes like farts then. I don't think that we don't want the
Well,
people to
you know
think
what you
that.
do? You make it a sour, a funky sour. Pull my finger.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you can have the foam coming off the side like that.
Fair enough.
Oh, thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, congrats to Alex. JV saying cheers to everybody. Mal,
Hi, Vanessa.
14 taps. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking into adding more, and they're going to start serving liquor too soon.
There you go.
Yeah.
Says hello to Chew. I saw the Moody Blues in the late 70s.
Ooh, fun.
JT, I saw Donovan open for Yes in 1977, my first concert.
Nice.
Owner of a Lonely Heart. Bart saw Blue Easter Coat at Philadelphia Spectrum with Blondie and so. What are you guys like in concert wars right now? You guys are in concert wars? Like, well, I did
That's
this.
awesome.
Well, I did that.
Okay, wait. I have it. Kiss's first farewell tour, and the opening acts were Motley Crue, Skid Row, and Ted Nugent. So Motley Crue, Skid Row, Ted Nugent, and then Kiss on their first farewell tour. So they were still young enough to, actually do what they were doing. So yeah.
There you go.
I think that was a pretty darn good concert right there. It was like 5 hours long, but it was amazing.
Bart says best music era ever. Beer service. Nice. Yeah. Every time I hit that, it's like It's a Wonderful Life. Every time it rings, Angel gets his wings. Where every time I hit that bell, Stu has to run like hell to get Mal beer.
Yep, that's right. That is my beer time bell.
Yeah. Dave knows a guy. Yeah, he does, right? He knows a guy. He got the Ravinia before Mal did.
I think Dave knows all the guys.
Yeah. I'm with the trucking yard. Oh, you're picking your brother up tonight. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
Dave says, I stopped in and talked with Jeff there today. Bought a 4-pack.
Oh, fantastic. So you probably saw Derek. He's my co-manager who was handling today because I wasn't going to be there. I ended up working anyway, but I wasn't working there.
Yeah.
It was computer work, but I was doing a lot of it. So
That's his first day out since the kidney stones and the cold. Yeah, I'm sure you were
yeah.
resting for sure. Yeah. Alex says that's an Alex, the beer master pourer. So he's calling Choose Pour the Alex.
Well, even after it settled, it was still only half a beer. So
Yeah.
oh, Chew,
It says, hey,
he's fired.
He's fired. You're fired. You're fired. Kidney stones are no picnic cheers. Yeah. Vote for a live beer pour by Chew. Yeah, what does he Chew pour? An actual live beer. Which he could do because he could show his hands. He shows his hands.
Actually, yeah, we could do that. Chew, the crowd is asking for a live beer pour by you, so I would point the camera at your hands while you pour the beer. He said okay for that, but I still have half a beer to finish, so give us a little time.
Vanessa feel better for Bart. Yes.
I don't want to chug.
Indeed, buddy. Indeed. I'm glad you got there. You putting the work in. I feel better today, but I think I overdid a wee bit. Well, that's how when you first get back up, you kind of get a little crazy with it.
Yeah.
Supposed to take your time. Blue Easter Colt would have been a fun one to go to. I agree. Yeah. First concert
and by the time I saw them, they were.
And they brought out Jan at pretty good time. So
nice.
That was Dave's first concert.
I will say, for Blue Oyster Cult, by the time I saw him, it was after the Will Smith thing, or not Will Smith, Will Ferrell thing with the cowbell.
Okay.
And
because I was going to say who in Blue Oyster Cult got smacked. Like who smacked one of those guys? Did Will get up there too?
No, they actually did add cowbell to the more cowbell to the song when the song came out. I just got to say, like, they made a show of hitting that damn cowbell. They weren't messing around. So yeah, it definitely made it onto the agenda for the concert that evening.
Bart said they were very, very loud.
Yes, you're allowed to walk by, darling.
Walk on by. Boop, boop, boop. Began junior high school the fall of 78.
Huh.
I graduated high school 87.
She was born in 78.
She was? Yeah. Little baby.
Shut up.
Ted Nugent was opening act. Eddie Money also was 78.
Oh, fun.
Blake's in the house. Cheers, Blake. I would have voted for breweries are like 2 hours away. I was going to say, well, I was going to say if you get there once in 6 months or something. If not, it might not even be that much. They're that far away. You know me, I ain't flying that far. You don't need to. You get on a John Deere tractor and you just ride, son. I see people in Arkansas riding tractors to the store. They go to the Piggly Wiggly and get beer.
Sure, why not?
I've seen it. Hello from Blake and Blakey from JT. There you go. So the question of the was, how often do you visit a brewery? Right now, the lead-in is 56%, about once every 6 months, and 23% about once a week, and also 23% about twice a month. So there you go. So
was there a choice for 3 times a day? Because that's where I'm at.
Nah. Well, you would be allowed to vote. I mean, you're in a brewery. You and Chew are there. So
well, usually I'm dropping him off at 1, and then I'm going to mine, and then we'll hit a different one on the way home. I mean, so 3 a day, just about.
It's a curiosity question, just because of some of the stuff happening. Which I'm gonna get another beer, and then I'll jump into beer news in a second here.
Okay.
Let me go in and grab that. I'll get the last one here. Cheers, Vanessa and JT. If this gets off my screen, there we go. And hey, someone need a tractor ride, Piggly Wiggly. You're right there. See, JV's in Arkansas with Blake, so he knows we will take the tractor.
Oh yeah.
Or the lawnmower. It might be the lawnmower. It might be a tractor. Maybe just the lawnmower, the riding lawnmower. If you got a DUI, Can you get a DUI? Actually, you can get a DUI in Lamar. I've seen that before. Or people have gotten pulled over on that too, which I don't know about
It
that.
happens. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you were cutting the grass to get the beer money. Piggly Wigglies are. I didn't even know Wigglies actually existed. I thought this was a fictional store on
Oh
TV
no,
until
no,
I went
Piggly
to.
Wiggly is a real thing.
Oh no,
Piggly
I know.
Wiggly is a real thing.
When I went to Gatlinburg, it's the first time I ever went to a Piggly Wiggly. I was like, I cannot believe that really says Piggly Wiggly. So obviously, I had to pull over and stop and go in because you always heard about it like on TV, and it's like, is this a real spot? It is. So yeah, there is a Piggly Wiggly. JFNV. I like that for JV. Like, that's a new nickname for JV. JFNV. That's pretty good, Blake. I like that one. I shall return.
All right. So he's leaving me alone with the comments. And this time I actually can't see the comments as they come out. And I don't have like the ability to change the comments or like respond totally. Oh, wait, he's back that soon? Wow. You must have had a very close beer fridge, huh?
That's the goal. Keep the beer fridge close. And the beer is even closer.
Are you kidding? I just go hang out at the brewery instead.
Yeah.
I don't need a beer fridge. I got 2 breweries to hang out at.
You know, the funny thing is, when I moved, I was like trying to go fully minimalist as much as possible. And I was actually just I was giving some stuff away. And I tried to get Todd to come pick up the beer fridge because I'm like an hour and a half where he was. He could come up and he's like, no, I can't get some. I guess I'll keep it away. I'm actually glad I did keep it now because I can use it. I thought it would have nowhere to place to put it in an apartment, and it fits perfectly in my closet over here. It works out well. Piggly Wiggly or Mad Butcher? I don't even know what Mad Butcher is.
Don't know. I know what Hot Butcher is.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Hot Butcher in a second here too.
Cool.
But my favorite YouTube channel is When Pig Fly 420, showing Arkansas State Police cases. Wow.
When pigs fly, Jesus Christ.
For those of you that are new immigrants to the States, yes.
This is a YouTube channel about cop car chases.
It's not
When
Arkansas.
pigs fly.
It's Arkansas.
It's rough.
If you say Arkansas, they might know you're not from here and they'll deport you. So make sure you say Arkansas.
Yes, I always say Arkansas. And I say Louisville.
No.
And New Orleans. And Mackinac Island, and Connecticut. It's Connecticut.
And you say Worcester instead of Worcester.
And Chicago.
And you say Illinois instead of Illinois.
And Illinois, yes, Illinois. Yes, all the things. I pronounce all the things phonetically.
I'm doing this one now just to get it out.
Ooh, Voodoo Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh, the Tropic Force.
Yeah. So I did a review on this one. So I talked about a little bit earlier. Pineapple mango. That's about the highlight of it. So I got to make room in the cooler. I try not to waste beer, so I'm going to drink it down.
There you go.
Piggly Wiggly's, Wawa's. Todd's getting a Wawa by his mother's house. He's so excited now. He's going to have it in Indiana.
Nice.
Wawa's the bomb. Pennies, all fun. Hope Beer News touch on Bud Light making a bunch of counts for rich. Yes. It's so funny you say that, Emerson, because I do have a Bud Light thing in there about another misstep it looks like they're making. So, yeah, they're all for another banner year here. It looks like. So we'll talk about that here in a second.
Nice.
And it is Shane Gillis, so you're right. A guy known more from being fired for Saturday Night Live than actually being on Saturday Night Live.
You know, it's always impressive to watch someone dig their own grave, though. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Nolens.
No, it's New Orleans. New Orleans. You got to put the E in there.
Vanessa likes your little connected cut.
Connecticut. Because we all want to connect a cut. You that's what stitches are for. You connect a cut. Like, come on. That's what the whole thing was.
You're gonna get JT riled up by mispronouncing.
New Orleans. Orleans. If you really want to go crazy with it, New Orleans.
So let's go and hit some of the beer news here.
Beer news,
and
yay!
I already played the banner earlier though, so
Oh, I missed the banner.
it was so wild ago.
Sad.
Was you going to play it again there?
I love it.
Yeah, but I can give you the breaking news. That's got like a little Ron Burgundy anchor to that one. I like that one.
That was pretty fancy. That was pretty fancy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Go fuck yourself, San
Yeah.
Diego.
Ron Burgundy would never say those words.
Oh,
So breaking news, if you haven't heard yet, let's just go into. Do I have a Star Wars thing on here? I don't think I have a Star Wars thing on here. So we'll just go into the evil empire.
you have
If I had it-
X-Files and you don't have that? Really?
I'm not a Star Wars person, so I don't have it on
Fair enough.
here. If I did have it, it would be like doom. What is it? Doom, doom. However it goes, so it's like the
Dun,
Stormtrooper type
dun,
or
dun.
whatever. Yeah, I do have that.
Okay,
I do like that one.
throwing a little Wagner in, that works.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk evil empire. AB and Bev. So now they've added to the list of casualties of war as basically they're going to be shutting down Winwood Brewing from out west. But Winwood, I'm not as familiar as much as I am with that second name there, Golden Road.
Golden Road, didn't they do mango carts?
Yes.
Oh
So
my
they're shutting
God.
down
Dude,
yeah.
mango carts closing. Golden Road
They're-
Breweries, AB and Bev bought them and they're closing it. They're the
Well-
place that I don't know.
That's why it's
Sorry.
breaking news. That's why it's breaking
Sorry.
news. Get people
Sorry,
excited. Get people-
she really likes the
juiced
mango
up.
cart.
like what's the skating movie with Will Ferrell? It gets the juices flowing.
Hey, Starbucks bought
do you
Tivana to
feel?
close them. Don't give me that.
So Golden Road, they're closing to Sacramento, and I don't know if they're closing them fully. I think they're closing them fully out, but I'm not sure if it's all of it. But Sacramento's a huge spot, so they're closing
The
them
mango
out.
cart's really good.
Yeah, and so this is something of a trend because last year they closed out Platform after they acquired them in 2019, and Platform was becoming an up and comer, went under AB and Bev, and now they're pretty much shut down. They got rid of a bunch of other brands over to Tilray. So Tilray picked up some of their stuff like 10 Barrel and a few other things. But seeing Golden Road out there, like I said, I'm not on the West Coast, but I know Winwood's got a pretty good name out there. That's kind of interesting. So keep an eye on what's going on there with AB and Bev because they may be just shutting some other stuff down. And let's see here. Vanessa said it's good to hear Chew's commentary.
Hey,
Yeah.
Chew.
Rise of the
Vanessa
Valkyries.
says it's nice to hear your commentary on the videos because you're always hiding either at work or downstairs and not like joining in.
Yeah, she
I
says we
harass
keep-
him all the time when he gets home to come up and like be part of the commentary, but he never comes upstairs. I'm like, damn it.
He says we keep hearing Chew in the background. So
James is like, we hear Chew in the background.
yeah, so that's kind of interesting. So keep an eye on some of the things that are under them and see how that might affect some other breweries that are out there.
Yeah.
In other news, and this is one I'm personally getting a kick out of myself. Maybe that's just me. But we all knew when Bud Light had their shenanigans and everything like that they did.
Right.
That this other guy came out of Georgia like, I'm going to make a woke anti-free beer, blah, 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 to go against the Bud Light type thing. Well, guess what, folks? They just earned a big old fat F from the Triple B Bureau, Better Business Bureau, after complaints had now been filed of their beer not being received and now being accused of scamming.
Oh my gosh.
I could have said I told you this was going to be coming because apparently when the guys were putting it out there, they had no idea how beer distribution or anything even worked anyway. So it's kind of like you can't just send beers across the country like that for one. And they had no brewer involved. So now people are filing online complaints with the Better Business Bureau about how they didn't get their beer. They spent all this money for it because, again, you're overpaying for, I'm going to just say some piss water because that's what you're kind of getting. And you were paying like $20 for the 6-pack, plus you had to pay the shipping like $15. It's like, you know what? People were separated from their money for a reason. So I'm just laughing. Hilarious, you guys lost your money on it. You're all pissed off about it. I know you're trying to think you were making a point, but you know.
Chew. Chew. After the whole or Budweiser fiasco, woke free beer came out. Like this whole thing about being free of woke.
Yeah.
They earned an F rating with the Better Business Bureau after complaints filed of beer not being received or they were being accused of scamming. But they weren't woke. They were not woke when they were scamming.
No.
There was no wokeness there.
I think on the streets they call that grifting. They call it grifting. So you just got your money's gone, you know.
They were grifting, but they were not woke. It's cool. As long as they weren't woke, we're all good.
Yeah.
We know what our priorities are.
Right, triple F. Yeah, it's like yeah, they just took that one up. That you know what I mean, but hey,
because honestly,
I bet you're woke now.
With a beer company, I'm not worried about whether they deliver on the product or anything. I'm worried about whether they have the morals that I have. That's what I'm more concerned with.
Yeah,
I can't even say it with a straight face. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, everybody there is getting a big kick out of it, but it's like, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I won't get into the whole political side thing, but it's just kind of like something's just falling into place, and you're like, could have called that. Could have called that. So yeah.
Well, you know, regardless of what their political standing was, they started a business and didn't deliver on the business. That's how you get an F rating with the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah,
are you kidding?
Yeah,
that's how that works.
They're supposed to get their beer like 45 days. Some guy was like, it's 120 days. I still haven't got my beer. Like, yeah.
Wow.
You'll probably get the Chris Christie bridge before you get that beer. But hey, just saying. Some things are just gone. Let them go. If it was yours, it'll return later, right? But Bud Light's not off the hook on themselves either, because Bud Light going from one position to another. So they pretty much have now teamed to partner up. And this was just alluded to with the comedian that has been accused of racism. Like stuff they did. He basically got fired for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Before he was even on Saturday Night Live. How do you do it? That's even worse than Craig on Friday. Like Craig at least went to work. This guy didn't even get a chance to go to work, and he got fired before he even showed up, really. So yeah. So now it's kind of interesting. Bud Light has not really said anything too much leading up to it. I think now they're feeling pressured to have to say something. But you can't win with that company. Like they're supposed to just go back in their corner, just do the sports type thing. And now they got themselves in another scandal. So
you say can't win, but honestly, there are still some celebrities they could go to. They could hit up Courtney Love. They could hit up the Stern, Howard Stern. Who else could they hit up? There's a lot of people that they could get on their side. Again, I can't say it with a straight face. I'm dying. I can't keep a straight face tonight.
It's just like at this point, it's like maybe Bud Light should like just change their name, become somebody else. If there was ever a need, like for the New Belgium, changing everything up and switching over, that's Bud Light. Just get rid of it and move on to something new. Because
I still don't forgive New Belgium for that. I'm still not forgiving them.
Yeah, we had talked about that. I think we talked about that before you got on. We were talking about the New Belgium thing too. So
yeah.
But we're coming out of dry. We came out of dry January, but now we're into February.
So it's a very soggy February.
But there are some trends. Like over in Britain, dry January has actually shown more of a dwindling love for beer possibly over there. And they're tracking numbers back into last year, but they've seen a steadily decline of beer. So there's reasons behind some of this. I think it's more of the variety of stuff out there as well. But there is something with the younger generation that some of them are more not as much drinkers as we were
Yeah.
as an older generation too. So this is what happens. This is just the change of times. I was asked last week if I thought like the boom had like actually happened, like it busted. I'm like, no, I think everything is just leveling out again. I think you
Yeah.
get so much stuff, things start to level out. And on the other side for consumers, you have so many other choices. So many consumers are doing the ready to make cocktails, or they're doing the spirits, or doing wines, they're doing non-alcoholic versions of
Yeah.
those things too. So we'll see how it all plays out. It's like, come on, beer's been here like since 5000 BC. It ain't going anywhere.
True.
I mean, it's the second
Well,
popular drink
the
behind a
pendulum
glitter and
always
tea.
swings.
Yeah,
The pendulum continues to swing. And, you know,
Yeah.
when you didn't have, you know, potable water in all of Europe, well, beer was number one. But,
yeah,
well, they have potable water and potable many other things. So it's
Yeah.
reasonable. You got options. It's cool. And everyone can pick what they like. That's fine. It's okay. You don't have to be stuck with the same damn thing that everybody else has anymore. How cool
Right.
is that? It's awesome. Take
She
advantage while we
said,
can.
I do not know about the saga of the pink sauce lady. And,
I'm scared to ask what pink sauce is.
Are they going to blame the F rate on the USA school system?
So you also have to realize with the pink sauce, I am at Liquid Love Brewing Company. Just think about that name for a second, and nah.
That is worse than Craig. Yeah, it's worse than Craig had it.
Yeah.
Craig had actually went to work. I mean, he didn't even really get to show up for work before he was fired. Like, you know, Emerson said in all caps, all Bud Light had to do was apologize and move on. Not hire every goofball on the planet, you know.
They haven't hired all of them yet. There's still plenty out there. They can hire a bunch of fun people that'll just drive them into the ground. Just give it a second. They got skills, man. They got skills.
Some people complained about them teaming up with Dana White, who's had some stuff that in the UFC stuff he said and stuff too, right? So they're picking them. They're picking them. So you know, it's their business model. So at some point, if the stock keeps plummeting, shareholders will be like, okay, you got to go to the CEO or whatever. So
yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to learn the lesson you need to learn, I guess. I think in many people's minds, craft beer is synonymous with IPAs, and the 20-year IPA phase, so to speak, coming to an end.
True.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think if you're,
it's not coming to an end. It's fading slowly and gracefully into the background of the craft beer scene. It's just people haven't really gotten a view of what craft beer really is yet. Everyone's been so focused on IPAs. It's like, it's coming. It's coming.
I don't even know if it's actually fading. I think it's actually the IPA market is more expanding right now, I think, because I'm seeing more of the sour IPAs. I'm seeing more of the doubles. I'm seeing more of the triples. With the triple I had, I might have another one tonight. That's 18%. 18% ABV. I don't know if you can still call it a triple. I'm just saying. But you have different versions between the West Coast, the East Coast, the black IPAs. We got breweries coming out with cold IPAs again. They're going to try it again. Let's spin it around one more time and see what happens. So I think it's more just attitudes around drinking as well. So there was like a thing I watched earlier this week on the news. And they were talking about at a time where doctors are like, okay, yeah, a couple drinks of beer for a guy, one a day. For a woman, it's good for you. It's actually like low density and all kind of stuff like that and everything. And now some doctors are saying, well, no alcohol is good. Anytime you do alcohol, you're cutting your life down. So you have different medical opinions that change, and that can affect people too.
But they also said the same thing about eggs. You weren't allowed to have eggs. They said the same thing about milk for a while. They said the same thing about red wine. They said the same thing about I mean, even water has come under question because how do you
Yeah.
know how clean the pipes are? Do the pipes have lead in
Oh,
them in
yeah.
your city? Flint
True
was
that.
a prime
that.
example of, hey, if you're drinking water, you're killing yourself. Neat.
Are you telling me
I
Flint doesn't
mean,
have great spring water now? I thought they were. Never mind.
I'm pretty sure they sorted out the majority of the issue, but still, I mean,
Yeah.
like even water, we've been told don't fucking drink water because you'll die.
Yeah.
Don't do this, don't do that, don't use a microwave, don't sit too close to the TV. There's so many things we're not supposed to do all the
Yeah.
time. And honestly, humans have been really, really good about saying, fuck yeah, and doing it anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm counting
True.
on those folks for when we open our own brewery. Oh,
And
there's
let's
two.
the shoe's hand, and let's keep in mind as well. 20 states are now legal for marijuana.
Mhm.
And guess what? Those 20 states, if you look at on the map, are probably 20 of the bigger states for craft beer to be and stuff. So
Yeah.
now for states that have the craft beer that now have marijuana, some are seeing that as an option that don't want to
Mhm.
have maybe that drinking type feeling. So that's going to cut
It's
into it as
true.
well.
It's true.
Which is why I'm waiting for the THC drinks to start hitting the market a little bit more. Come on, people, get your stuff in gear.
Hey, I know several people who don't like drinking alcohol because of how it makes them feel, but they like having pot because it doesn't make them have hangovers or do whatever else. Like, honestly, alcohol does make people kind of dumb. So, I mean, I'm not saying pot doesn't, but
Well, you don't have fights breaking out when people are in a
right,
room
right.
smoking
No,
versus the way in a
you
bar,
have
right?
everyone sitting around giggling at a Mr. Bean episode. You know, like it's pretty chill. So it's a different kind of animal. That's true.
It's a different kind of vibe.
Uh-huh.
And if anybody hasn't had a THC beer, it's a different type of vibe you get with that as well, too, by the way. So waiting for all this different stuff is happening
Mhm.
that is causing a shift in things. Like I said, so I don't think it's going away. I just think things are shifting. Also, a lot of people, like I've met people that say they don't like beer, but then they don't know what all the beers and stuff are too.
Right, right.
So when they try something different, they're like, "Oh, this is good." Well, like that's a beer. That's like a Kolsch, or that's like a Golden Ale, or that's like whatever it may be, and they're not aware of it too. So there's education.
Yeah.
I think I just did that barley wine video. One of the guys said how he didn't like barley wine for so long, and he had one at a brewery. He started liking barley wine. So these things are just happening again. So I think it's just part of the cycle.
And as someone who works at a brewery and who knows a lot of people who work at breweries, we're always constantly trying to educate and to let people know, no, you really have options. When someone comes into my tap room and they order a beer and they sit there for 20 minutes and they barely sip on that beer, I'm the manager, so I'm not their table, I'm not their server or anything. If I see them not drinking the beer, I'll go over and I'll be like, "Oh, how's that beer treating you?" And they're like, "It's not really my style. I thought it was going to be this." And I'm like, "You know what? Let me bring you a couple samples of a couple others, and I'll have them try a couple other things. And I'll say, okay, cool. You like this one? I'll swap it out." And they're like, "No, you don't have to do that." I'm like, "We're a brewery. First and foremost, we want you to like our product. It's totally fine if you don't like one of our beers. I'm willing to bet you'll like something we have. And I'm happy to swap you out and give you something you'll enjoy. And other than leave you with a bad taste in your mouth, literally. Like, I don't want that."
Yeah.
So we'll swap out any beer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could have ordered the most expensive damn beer we got. It doesn't matter. If you hate it, I'm getting you something else. So
Find your lane. Find your lane. Find your lane.
yeah, exactly. Because you'll be happier once you stay in the lines. You're going to be happier.
Yeah. Craft stouts are always for the win, Vanessa.
Yep.
What up, Dee in the house? Cheers, my friend.
Dee.
Hard seltzer, new craze. Well, see, even seltzer, people have been drinking seltzer for the last. I've been here for 2 years, so I'm going to say last 4 or 5 years. Because before I moved here, people were already drinking the seltzer. People were like Untitled Art was making some good seltzer out of Wisconsin that you can't even believe for seltzers. So again, that's eating into part of the thing, but that goes under the FMB flavor malt beverage type situation, but it gets counted somewhat in the numbers and stuff too. So we're seeing an overall decline of alcoholic drinks, but I think again, it's just the different things that are coming in play. Let me see. Hard seltzer makes me think of Tickle Me Elmo.
Why?
I don't know why that's the case, but
Scared. I'm scared to find out why. Why does hard seltzer make you think of Tickle Me Elmo?
but
How many hard seltzers did you have before you played with the Tickle Me Elmo? Like I'm terrified by this like storyline here.
I would think you'd have something else and not even alcohol if you're playing with Tickle Me Elmo, but that's a whole different thing.
Or were you like super drunk on hard seltzers when you saw a commercial for Tickle Me Elmo and it scared you? Like I could understand that, but like, oh my God. I
But
don't know where this one's going and I'm scared.
speaking of Elmo, apparently the big thing this week was Elmo asked a question on Sesame Street, and everybody kind of went crazy on social media about just like it was a question asking just like how are you doing? And it was a whole thing around checking in on people, make sure they're doing okay. And all these people are responding about their feelings and emotions. And next thing you know, it's like 200 something million responded to this post that they did and stuff. It was crazy, like, you know.
Oh wow.
That was like a big news story this past week. So
He just said, "How are you doing?" and everybody was
yeah,
honest.
it was like, how are you feeling? Are you okay? Type thing. Yeah. And like
Yeah.
people were just and it opened up this whole honest thing for a lot of like some people were like, oh, they're fine, they're doing this, that. Some were just like emotional wreck type things. And all these stories that were highlighted around it. And it was just like people were just like responding on Twitter and stuff. And it's just like people reaching out, touching people, and they're like, you know, check on your friend type thing, make sure they're doing okay, you know, just to ask them how they're doing and stuff. So it's kind of crazy.
Which just shows that Sesame Street doesn't affect just kids. It affects adults too. You deal with all the things and you learn lessons all the time. So, and actually when people say, "How are you?" they don't actually mean "How are you?" They mean, "Please say fine so I can go about my day and not have to worry about anything."
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that's
the whole thing with
honestly
the Elmo
the
thing.
answer
It
they
was like
expect.
the Elmo thing was, how are you feeling? Is the question he asked. And that, I don't know, maybe because he put feeling in, it caused people to respond to it. And people were like, just, even like Joe Biden responded to it. And like athletes responded to it. And all these different celebrities responded to it.
She was trying to make a joke and then he chickened out.
Oh, true.
Ron, how you feel?
I feel with my hands.
He said he feels with his hands. Yeah, I've heard that about you. You need to get that checked out because honestly, that's a problem. Hey, that
Ray
looks
Charles.
squishy.
Yeah. I thought Ray Charles used to meet women. I think he used to feel their wrists or whatever back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Big problem with these drugs and alcohol is the overindulgence, kind of like the weight issue Americans. Yeah, I mean, it's overindulgence is a big thing there, but some people don't like the taste of the alcohol either, too. So
True.
And think about it, when you're younger, you have
I'm
more
only
taste buds.
showing the edge of the yellow.
When you're younger, you have more
Yes.
taste buds in your mouth, and so everything's going to be more intense when you actually drink or eat stuff, right? As you get older, that intensity goes down. So
Right.
I think that's why as you get older, you like more types of whiskeys, you like more types of beers or wines that you may not like when you were younger. So that plays into it too. But overindulgence is a factor. I mean, there are definitely people in class, you know, AA or whatever, or drug type things. And I've never had that addictive type thing. So it's hard for me to actually talk about something like that and everything, but I know it does hit people.
So I did cigarette addiction, which obviously I've switched to vapes now, working my way down, and eventually I will get off of these. But yeah, I have an addictive personality, so I have to be careful with the craft beer and make sure that I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. And working with craft beer actually helps because when I'm a manager, I'm not thinking, "Ooh, I need a drink." No, I'm thinking, "Oh my God, the power just went out and we're screwed." That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So I have too much on my plate to be thinking about having a beer. So that actually helps a little bit. As much as I'm surrounded by beer, I have bigger responsibilities and I don't think about drinking so much. So that helps. Unless I'm visiting Q at work and he keeps bringing them to me, then we're in trouble.
That son of a bitch. No, anyway.
That son of a bitch. He's in the brew house right now, so he didn't even hear that. I wish he had heard it.
Well, that's the other thing too. So you can have it, but then that's also why I think on this flip side of coin, you see the emergence more of the non-alcoholic type stuff happening.
Yeah.
Because people that can't really get into it, but they want that taste of beer, they want that aroma of the beer. Stuff like Go Brewing is putting out and Athletic and some of these other breweries are pretty competitive out there. So you can actually have
for
that.
sure.
and enjoy it and not be taking in alcohol. So I think you're seeing some of that stuff actually happening.
Right.
Personal responsibility. I used to always think that too, but there's different things like personal responsibility can't work for everybody because some people have that. It's a mental thing, like Mal said with the addictive thing. Sometimes it's a mental thing in your head too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
used to smoke. I smoked cigarettes when I went to college. Well, I smoked a little bit in high school, back and forth here and there, but between '88 to 2000, I stopped at 2000. I just stopped one day and didn't go back. A lot of people can just stop and do it that way, you know. I worked out and I was a little bit of a chest thing from working out, and I was like, I'm done with these cigarettes, and I gave the rest of my pack to one of the people I worked with, and I was done. I never looked back since then. But that's a
Yeah.
tough thing to actually pull off.
For sure.
And like I said,
Good job.
thank you. Well, it's just do what I did, but
Yeah.
it's like when we drink this, like people think we drink beers all the time. We really don't. But I know some people that do. I know some people that I don't, but it's not like you overthink where you're waking up every morning like you're Spicoli back in Fast Times at
Oh,
Ridgemont
goodness,
High.
no.
Yeah. So some people are that way, because they get too overindulgent in it.
Now,
Yeah.
my parents could finish off a 30-pack each at a party. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. And they both have addictive personalities as well. And I definitely got a little bit of that from them, which is fine. It's okay. It's not their fault. But I will say, as a server at a tap room, I was drinking a heck of a lot more than I was as a manager at a tap room. Just because, like, afterwards I would get a shift beer, and of course the bartender would be like, "You want another one? You want another one? You want another one?" And you don't think about it, but once I had more shit to get done and was panicking about getting everything finished, well, I had to slow down a little. So, yeah. So as a server, it was a little scarier than when I was a manager. I will admit that, because the alcohol's just everywhere. It surrounds you when you work in the industry.
Yeah.
And it's just all the time. Everyone's bringing in beer and going, "Hey, try this one. Oh, try this one. Oh, you haven't had this? You've got to have this." It's people from other breweries come to my brewery and they're like, "Oh, I got a 4-pack in the car. You got to try this." Like it's nonstop, really.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the most beers I actually have are probably when I do as far as in a sit-in, or probably when I do Thursday night show. Because any other day of the week, I'm not drinking probably, except maybe a Friday or Saturday. I might have one or two watching the game, or when I'm sitting there playing Call of Duty or something.
Rod.
I know, I'm looking for it.
He's mopping the floor back there.
Ew, he played the noise.
Tickle me ammo with everyone
What do you
buying
want?
anything.
I want something different.
Yeah, Tickle Me Ammo, when that came out, that was crazy. People were fighting.
But if you go with the 12%, we're getting a lift home. Okay.
Hey, folks, great to see you. Remember these folks who still stay on X, so yeah.
Oh, is there a customer? There's a customer coming. I got to take you into the back.
Uh-oh.
Otherwise, Anita and her "you can ring my bell" was going to set off your copyright stuff. All right, so I'm back in the brew house now.
Look at that. Look at the brew house. Yeah. There you go.
Give you a nice 360 back here as well, because Mike, the production manager back here. Oh yeah, they have a whole bunch of barrels there.
Is there anything in the barrels? And then there's some
on the other side as well. Oops, my head's right in the way. Got some barrels back there too. So yeah.
Okay. Is there anything in the barrels? I wonder what barrels they're using. What barrel? Can you see what barrels they're using back there?
Let's see. Bourbon whiskey, wild turkey, wild turkey. Actually, these all look like wild turkey right here. I don't know what they're aging in it though. Yeah, these are all wild turkey barrels. Let me look at the other ones. But so they'll try different things. Obviously, the imperial stouts are a favorite to put in the whiskey barrels, but they also put sours in them.
Oh, okay.
And age their sours as well. And these ones are not labeled. That one says EB. EB.
EB.
What whiskey place is EB?
I was saying, Eclectic Beers got his own distillery.
No, they just have a little EB printed on each barrel. I don't know what company that is, though. So yeah.
Let me see. Oh,
But yeah, they do a lot of barrel aging here.
He said my levels sound. Do I sound really low compared to Mal for the people watching?
Oh, sorry. I am playing this on my phone today, which is a little unusual. I'm not usually on my phone. I'm usually on the computer.
Oh no, you're fine. Like Dave thought I was sounding low, but maybe you're just sounding higher.
That could be. I can hold on. I can stretch my arm out further if you like.
No, you're good. I just wonder if everybody can hear me okay, because Dave thought I was lower compared to Mal, but I think it's because where Mal's on her phone, but my mic is still the same. So
yeah.
Oh, Thomas said. Eric said EB could be Ezra Brooks.
Oh, it could be, I suppose.
So Emerson
I know
said
they were hunting for new barrels, so maybe that's where they got them from this time.
Emerson said Mal is high.
Sorry.
All right. You don't know she's high. You're making a judgment call there, by the way.
Nicotine and beer, that's literally my thing. So
yeah.
And occasionally a scotch.
He said, or crack cocaine.
Not this week or any of the other weeks, but you know.
You know. Let's see here. Bear with me. I said I should have some music when I'm typing, but I haven't put any music on here yet.
You know, it's kind of funny. She was kind of, you could see in his eyes he was kind of hoping he wouldn't get another customer, and then somebody walks in at 8:30 and he closes at 9. I know in his heart he was like, "Ah, fuck, I have to work now."
Poor Chew was like, "Really? Come on, man!
Shut it down! 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 Shut it down now!"
Yep.
But no,
exactly.
Chew, you got to stay, my friend.
Well, he was already mopping. He just mopped both the bathrooms, and the customer walks in. He's like, "Fuck." Too funny.
He's like, maybe this guy will just ask for change. Do you just need change, or are you gonna actually get a beer? Yeah.
You know, not change. Like, take a case of 4-packs to go. There you go.
I don't even know
a case of 4-packs to go and then leave.
I didn't know if people even do that anymore. Like people used to go in, you change, can I get change for a 5 or a 10? Like nobody carries cash anymore. So I don't know if people really ask for change.
We still have people ask for change on occasion. It's rare.
Okay.
But Ravinia doesn't deal in coins anymore. Only cash transactions. So we round everything. So if your bill comes out to $18.49, you're only paying $18. But if it's $18.50, you're paying $19. But nobody complains about it. I really thought people would complain. Nobody has.
You guys are Randy Moss straight cash. And we got Dave in the house from Beer in Front.
Dave,
hey, what's going on, everyone?
Yeah. Yeah, see, it's not me. It's
wet February.
Wet February, that's right.
Yeah.
Easy throwing that wetness around now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. See, Mal's higher than me, I think. That's what everybody's saying. Like, she's the one that's just higher. So
well, I just climbed up 6 stairs.
And Mal,
I'm sitting at the
really
top of where they brew. Oh,
it's
is it?
really good, Mal, yeah.
Oh, great. I'm so glad. I saw the recipe. I thought it was going to be okay, but I was so excited to get to try it. So I know they're delivering it to our tap room on, oh gosh, what is today? It should be coming in the next day or so.
Yeah.
Because they brew it in Chicago. So yeah, I haven't gotten it yet.
I talked to Jeff, and actually, like when I was done, I was there at 10:30 in the morning. So I'm like, that's a perfect way to start February, is having a Vienna lager at 10:30 a.m. But he said he was like had to load up the truck, so hopefully you'll have it up there soon. But it's really good.
You were who he was talking about. Yeah. So they had a big meeting, like 10 people all talking about what next steps were for this lawsuit thing. And he and Chris were talking about a social media person who had a big following, who they were going to talk to about what we were going through. That must have been you. I was thinking it was you, but I wasn't sure. So that's so cool. I love it.
Yeah, he reached out to me a couple days ago and said, they can't really discuss the lawsuit for obvious reasons, but if you want to come on and just talk about the brewery, the food. So we did that. So I kind of had to break away from this for a little bit just to finish editing, and I'll get that out tomorrow. But that Logan Square tap room is phenomenal, and the food.
I love it.
The deep fried ramen was outstanding.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's so freaking good. Yes, it's a burrito. It's a burrito of ramen with like the pickled vegetables and pork carnitas, and then the ramen noodles, and then you have a pork ramen broth, and then there's like cilantro and onion and jalapeno, and then you're like dipping the burrito into the broth, and it's so good. Oh my god,
that was absolutely killer. I'm like, holy shit, is this good?
Dipping a burrito in the broth. I could do that.
Dave, you're going to love this so much. So one night, my husband came and visited me at work, and they had just come out with the ramen, the pork carnitas ramen and the birria ramen. So we have two different ramens. And my husband was like, I like the ramen. I just wish it was like I could hold it in my hands, like a burrito. And he told this to our chef, Brian, in Highland Park. And Chef Brian took it upon himself to create a ramen burrito. And that's what's on the menu. This is Chu's idea. You were eating something that was Chu's plan.
Yeah,
there you go.
That was absolutely phenomenal. Good. Yeah, so I'm gonna have that out tomorrow. And we didn't discuss the lawsuit. I'll mention it on my own, along with the GoFundMe and some of the other media links that are out there. If people want to read up on it, but no, he's a really cool guy. That was a great spot.
Yeah. Yep. No, Jeff's fun. I like Jeff a lot. He gives me too much work and not enough hours, but I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Told you, man. Dave's a man around Chicago. He walked in the breweries, and it's like people just start piping down. He's the man. He comes in. It's tough for Dave keeping those gators down. I'm telling you.
But I love that you had the food that was Chu's idea. That makes me very pleased, actually.
Yeah, he brought out
ridiculous
a
as that is.
So I tried a couple things there, and everyone was just killer.
It's delicious. The food's amazing. I've been working there for 2 years. I get a free meal during my shifts. 2 years, 5 days a week, and I'm still not sick of the food. I can't get sick of the food. It's too damn good.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Well, keeping the focus on Chicago, since Eric put this up here as well, because I'm going to hit Hop Butcher after this in a second, but he just finished reviewing Hop Butcher Woodman Alley IPA. Thought it was very interesting with the Mosaic, El Dorado, and Ruaco, which I haven't had Hop Butcher beer for a while. Although they do have distribution, I saw in New Jersey now, which is interesting.
Oh yeah,
some of the coolers and stuff there too, and I think we might be getting some stuff here possibly down in Maryland. So, shout out to Jeremiah and them for expanding. But sticking with the Hop Butcher theme, I get back over here.
Oh, the holy water.
Yes,
up here.
So. Two Chicago people, Hop Butcher uses water from Schiller Woods, which is considered the magic pump. And tell me about this spot. Tell me about this whole thing, the whole thing around the Schiller Woods and the water. So like this mystical,
it's pretty
magical.
Close to O'Hare. So it's off of Irving Park Road, pretty close to O'Hare. And Mal, I'm a lot older than you are, but people have been going there since like I was a child, if not longer than that. And there'd be people, like especially on the weekends, lined up to get water out of this pump. And it's supposed to have healing powers.
Of course.
I don't know. But it's funny that a friend of mine and I, like 10 years ago, when we were brewing beer together all the time, we said we should go brew a beer with this water. And we never did, but
but somebody has now.
And I just can't imagine, because they just did, I think, 200 gallons, or that's the amount of water they use.
Yeah.
So they must have went at like 1 a.m. when no one was around, because like you'd see people there with just like milk jugs filling up like a gallon of water. So I don't know how they got 200 gallons out of this thing.
It was 3 guys. They filled one at a time and then got back in line and then filled another one and put it in the tank and got back in line. It's fine. They were fine.
That's good about it. That's a day's
200 times. They got it.
At least.
Yeah.
No, but it's, from everything I'm reading about it and hearing about it, it's like I feel like they're like Lord of the Rings going through the Shire on this magical journey to get this wood and bring it back.
Hey, I'm the one with back issues. That might help. I might have to take a run over there.
Yeah, get over to Hot Butcher if you're there so you can see what this is all about for sure. So I didn't see what the name of the beer they were actually using, but obviously if you talk to Hot Butcher, they'll tell you which one it is. And it's brewing up right now. So that should be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That is fun.
Yeah. And we were talking earlier. Oh, let me get to the comment here. Shout out to Angie. Cheers, my friend. Great to see you. Another Marylander in the house. Says hello to Eric as well.
Hi, Eric.
We were talking about Britain dwindling beer. Now, that's not the end days type sign or whatever because they're, drinking a little bit less out there. However, when I started hearing Germans are drinking less beer due to health concerns.
What?
Then I raise an eyebrow. If they're coming back in Germany, when they're coming back on beer in Germany, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here now? So again, we were talking about some of the health stuff earlier today before you were on and stuff. So I guess they're looking at things in Germany and they're seeing things where maybe some of the population is drinking a little bit less over there, but them guys drink beers all day, all night.
So just out of curiosity, is it just that they're drinking less German beer? Maybe they're buying more imports, perhaps? Or
they're seeing a trend of less beer consumption being done.
Okay. I just wanted a little clarification because I was thinking that with the Brits too. Like, I know a lot of the British folks know that our craft beer community is crazy over here. So maybe they were drinking less of theirs because they, were thinking maybe, they would do some of the imports or something. But if that's getting counted too, I guess it's moot. So.
Well, we didn't talk much about on the Britain. One thing I will say about them, now they did go through heavy tax pricing last year. So I can see, I can see where they're drinking less because they were getting taxed out the wazoo on some of their beer.
Well, Canada definitely went through that too. So
yeah. God, talking to Shane about what we pay for a beer, and he gets to Canada. He's just like ready to come through the screen sometimes. I think, like, are you kidding me? Like,
I know, and I'm planning on going to Niagara Falls in July for the get together and stuff. And I'm thinking, man, I really got to save up for this.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be able to afford the beer I want.
You know what I tell Shane? I'm like, yeah, but you guys got free healthcare.
Yeah,
true.
It balances out.
Free but slow healthcare. It is very slow. You have to wait several weeks for everything. So just saying, there is a drawback to it as well.
I have to wait a month to see my back doctor. Like
you've
whenever I
go,
it's a month.
Yeah, like you've been dealing with that for such a long time. Like,
yeah. Whenever I have to make an appointment, like I had a procedure and a follow up. Well, we can get you in a month. All right.
I'm gonna grab another beer real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead and communicate.
All right.
Now there's two of you, so now you can have conversation a little bit more.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm so happy to see you again. I haven't seen you in a little bit, so that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're
January, so I'm like, not really
but
talking about too much beer.
I'm really happy that Jeff reached out to you. I think that's really cool, and I appreciate so much that you're supporting our tiny little tiny brewery.
Yeah.
In fighting this thing against these people whose CEO last year made $800,000, and we're like, wow, on Monday we brought in $721, so we're doing awesome. We're up against something insane.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you how much I appreciate you're willing to get in there and help us out. So thank you.
Yeah,
because
I did a couple
really,
of video clips too, which I'll run a little later. But yeah, it's just wrong. It's just, like the name of the beer was perfect. Don't be a bully for the new key lime or the rebranding of the key lime. Don't be a bully.
Yeah. Don't be a bully.
Yeah.
That was funny.
You can't put
I told them.
Don't be a bitch.
I suggested renaming it to sour grapes myself, but it's cool because it was key lime, so you couldn't really say grapes. I get it, but I was like, don't be a sourpuss. I don't know. But honestly, so Ravinia Festival in the past, when they would have big meetings, because they would always have these big meetings with all their, people, they would order food from us, and they would order $300 worth of food. And
Really?
they would come in to pay for it, and they would use their tax exempt slip because they're tax exempt because they're a supposed to be a non-for-profit.
Yeah.
And then they would tip $1 on $300 worth of food. It took 20 to 25 minutes to bag up all that food. Just saying. Not to make it, not the cost of ingredients, nothing. No. It took 20 minutes just to bag it. And they always tipped $1. And I'm like, it would be better if you just didn't tip at all. Like the $1 is almost more of an insult. Like, are you kidding? And this last summer they had a craft beer fest. They're walking distance from us. Distance. They had a craft beer fest. They invited 30 breweries, and we were not invited.
Yeah. I think
it's been petty. It's been petty.
Yeah.
I think if they saw the movie Waiting, they wouldn't leave just $1.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Sorry, I forgot. I'm the loud one, so I have to not shout. I'm sorry.
Right. Oh, other beer news: Georgia. Not really gonna. Will allow fans to buy beer inside Sanford Stadium where the Bulldogs play in the 2020. It's funny. I just put that out there just because, well, one, I mean, if you're down in Georgia now, you can have beer at the football games. But I'm like, it's 2024. Like, how does every stadium not have beer now available for people that want to enjoy beer? I mean,
because somebody didn't realize how much money they could make.
Well, I know we still got the Bible Belt in some spots, but come on, it's a football game. I mean,
I haven't been to it in like a good 10 years, but I used to go to the NCAA basketball tournament every year, and you could never buy beer at the tournament. And you'd
NCAA isn't that high school?
4 games. No, it's college.
College.
Oh, it's college.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could never buy a beer at the tournament. Now maybe that's changed, but
that's changed now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
because a lot of
I'm not
stadiums
for
are now
certain,
teamed
but
up with breweries as well. A lot of college teams have brewery sponsors.
Hey, Chu.
Change.
U of M, can you buy beer at the stadium for the Wolverines games? Can you buy beer at the stadium? No. So U of M is still no alcohol at the stadium.
When's the last time you went to a game? Was it recently?
I mean, it was a couple years ago, but they still don't.
Because the last couple of years, a lot of teams have added beer in. That's why I'm asking.
Because I remember Chu's best friend, she had a flask that she actually had down the back of her pants so she could bring alcohol in and pour it in her soda. So
yeah,
they don't allow any advertising inside the stadium or any alcohol.
Okay.
As of last season.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're changing for now, but last season they did not allow advertising or alcohol in the stadium.
That's kind of interesting with them being like a northern school that I just sort of figured they would have maybe had it there. But because I think they added it at Ohio State. I think you can get beer at Ohio State, I believe now. So
yeah, I think so too.
Alexa, be quiet.
Yeah, but there's a ton of beers there in Ohio.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm glad I wasn't home. I am glad I wasn't home. My Alexa would have been like, "What?
Yeah.
What did you want?"
Yeah. Yeah, mine goes off at anything. It doesn't even sound like the name, and it goes off and says something.
I know. She's like, "I don't think I can help you with that," and I'm like, "I didn't ask for your help. What the fuck is your problem?"
Yeah, mine is like reset your Echo type. Like I don't have an Echo thing. Like Echo's not here. Like don't try to get your buddy involved. It's just me and you. Me and you.
Actually, a running gag for me and Chu is I'll tell her to put something on the shopping list, and she'll be like, "This has been added to your shopping list. I don't recognize your voice. Could you speak again, please?" And I'm like, literally, you've been in the house for how many years? You don't recognize my voice?
Yeah.
All right, sure. Alexa doesn't think I really exist.
Yeah. You don't live here.
Apparently not.
So in other beer stuff, Heineken, not going on the dry thing as much, but Heineken's actually cutting their ABV of its John Smith's Extra Smooth Ale from 3.6 to 3.4 in a move the global brewer claims is due to consumers' health. This whole health thing is going crazy like that. But you're thinking like, it's 0.2%, but they said apparently that 0.2% can make a big difference on stuff. So
yeah.
If you're overseas, that's like over in the UK, I think they get that, and some of the I don't know, say Italy or some of the European other countries. But that's interesting that they're making it. It's a pretty popular beer. So
yeah. Did you talk yet about, because I jumped on late, about Miller and their 2.8%?
I did not have that one on my story, so I'll give you the spotlight on that one, dog. Wait a minute. Don't say it yet. Don't say it yet. Yeah, I'll use every graphic I got up in this biatch.
Yeah, because I didn't do an episode last week. I had it written, but we had a death in the family, so things kind of got haywire. But Miller, they're not going to have that 64 line anymore. They're going to call it Miller Extra Light, and that's going to be a 2.8% beer.
Oh, I did not see anything on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't think anybody was drinking Miller 64.
I've seen it around. I never tried it, but
no.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
turn the lights out?
Yeah, Chew was leaving the back and just turned off the lights on me. So I'm sitting in the dark now.
I think he forgot you were in there.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think he was just he came and got something from the cooler. He went back out front and he definitely hit the light switch. And it's a really long walk to that light switch. So I'm like debating whether I want to get up and go over there or if I should just wait in the dark.
Now we're turning into HBO after hours in the dark with Mal.
I apparently have like a red light behind me though. What's that red light? I have a red light. Oh, it's on the brewer's panel thing with all the instrumentation. Let's see if I can get myself to a light switch without tripping or dying.
You get the red light, now it's turning into real sex after hours.
I think there's some OSHA violations here right now.
Yes, wish me luck, guys, as I try not to trip over all the hoses.
JT said around 1998, my brother and I once got busted trying to smuggle booze into an LSU game. And you can buy it at Tiger Stadium now, but back then, the goons searching everyone. Yeah. So the funny thing is, we mentioned Michigan. Back when I was working for another company, I think it was like 2006 or 7, we went up to Michigan and watched Michigan against Rice. Okay. And so we drove up. And back then, you couldn't have beer in the game, so like we would drink before we get there. So we were drinking at the hotel, coming in, and we were going to get there. And if you ever go to a Michigan game, it's like you got to park like, at least back then, outside the stadium and like walk like a mile because of the parking. And so we're there, park the car. People sell at their front lawns for you to park there. My one buddy, he's there drinking. It's always the smallest guy in the group. You ever notice that? If you ever get like a bunch of guys, always the smallest guys, it wasn't the wise ass guy, right? So cops coming like, you can't drink any more beer or whatever like that and everything. And the guy's like, well, I haven't left to go anywhere. He's like, but you got to pour your beer out. He's like, well, I got to pour this beer out. I'm sitting here drinking it. I'll drink it before I get to the Michigan. He's like, you got to pour it out. And he's arguing with this cop. And we're like, dude, none of us brought bail money. If you get arrested, you're on your own. We're heading back to Cincinnati. And the cops take a step towards him. He like pours the beer out finally.
Hey, Rod, hold on 1 second, because you probably want to hear this. Hold on.
It's like a Blair Witch thing going on right now.
When you ditch me in the back and shut off the lights when I'm up the stairs, that's a problem for me. Please don't turn off the lights in the tap room or in the brew house when I'm back there. Okay? Yeah, don't leave me in the dark, okay? Thanks. Yeah, don't leave me in the dark.
In trouble.
Doghouse.
I had to chew them out a little bit, and then I had to show this door. I know it's where the brooms and stuff are hung up, but they have labels of every beer they've ever done on this door, and I love this door.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I know they have like all their labels on here. I think it's so fun. They're running out of space though, so they're gonna have to expand at some point.
Wall now, yeah.
I have lights again. I can see. It's a miracle.
So, other beer news, prepare yourself because, as beer drinkers, we always need another encouragement day to drink, right? Like, give us something else to drink for. National Beer Day, right around the corner. This first Saturday of February is National Beer Day. So, if you're going to drink a beer, celebrate that day. Get yourself an Untapped badge, I'm sure. But it is National Beer Day.
I'm glad that you told me, because now I have to inform my staff that it's National Beer Day and they need to make a play of it. And okay, all right, it's fine. It's more work, but it's okay.
And then, as Americans buy less beer, again, we're seeing trends. Breweries, bars, and even supermarkets are starting to scale back. So some of the supermarkets that used to have some good finds for beer. They're actually limited in some of the stuff they're carrying now. So it's kind of interesting. Like I said, I think it's a leveling out period we'll see through this year on different things, and it'll set a new bar. But I don't think. What do you guys think? I don't think there's any bubble. Well, Mal's like I'm hoping no bubble pipers, but I think it's just a leveling out. I don't think anything's really bursting. I just think you have to have retraction at some point.
Yeah, it needs to balance out.
Yeah.
I was just looking in the space of 10 years, we've gone from nationwide, little over 3,000 breweries 10 years ago. We've
Yep.
tripled it. We're over 9,000 breweries now.
Yep.
So sooner or later, there needs to be like a correction. I mean, I'm not
Mhm.
saying we're ever going to go back down to 3,000, but I don't know if the market can handle all of these breweries.
Well,
And there's
it's,
only so
I mean,
much shelf
it's not
space in the grocery store. You can't put beers from everybody out there.
that you
Right,
can't.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't see it as just a marketing or evening out. I almost see it as now you have this many.
Mhm.
This many of that, this many, certain of them are good and certain of them are not. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, some of them are going to get weeded out. That's
Yeah.
literally how it works. You're going to weed out the ones that are just not up to par. It's
Yeah.
just, the people who are good brewers but didn't know how to run a business, or the people who are great business people who didn't know how to frickin' make a beer.
Yeah.
Like the weeding out has to happen. And we got to a high point. We got to come back down. I'm hoping when I'm opening mine to be writing the next wave of
Yeah.
new ones
Mhm.
that are coming in to replace the ones who just weren't up to par.
Yeah. You can buy
Like
new
that's
equipment on
my
the cheap.
plan.
Yeah.
I'm planning to
Yeah.
ride the next wave. The pendulum is swinging. I'm ready for it. I want to hop in at the beginning of the next wave. Like that's my ideal.
Yeah.
So at the moment we are on the downswing. There's no question, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of stuff that's happening in the market that's affecting things, though, like we talked about earlier. So I'm still pretty optimistic on it. And it's kind of like my background working kind of in the investment world. There's like a buy, a hold, a sell type thing we'll talk about sometimes. I don't talk about as much now what I do in the job I'm in, but when I was doing the mutual fund stuff, that was kind of a thing. Do you buy, do you hold? And I think we're at this point, we're kind of in a hold type pattern. We're not
Yep.
selling off, we're not buying, but we're kind of in a hold neutral type pattern and letting see things fall where they're falling, and then we'll build.
Yeah, you got to wait and see what comes next. And
Yeah.
honestly, craft beer might have some new style that comes out that takes the world by storm, and that's fine. It'll happen sometimes. It's cool. It's not a big deal. But you just have to wait and ride the wave and see what happens next.
Yeah. I mean, right now, one of the stories I didn't put up for the beer news, I just actually just remembered about it. Story came out earlier this week. More breweries are now accepting rice in the making of their beers. Like you're starting to see more rice lagers on the market
Yeah.
now, but you're seeing more breweries that are now playing around with it. So they don't taste like Bud Light, folks. So don't
Yeah.
worry about that. They're still pretty
No.
good beers, but
No.
but and one of the beers I drank was the one from Japan, with the little owl on the label. I can't remember the name of it and everything, but they do rice beer. And it's really tasty when you taste their beers and stuff. So it can be done in a good way. So you're going to have more experimenting taking place. Something like rice can lower the cost for the brewery for using that. That's why Bud Light was doing it as a macro type thing. So you're going to have different things that are going to take place. You have breweries that are creating hops. And shout out to hops, by the way, to
Yeah.
Sierra Nevada got second place at a recent hop conference or hop event from their own hops they brew. They're brewing their own hops. And that's an opportunity
That's
for a lot of
nice.
breweries
Yeah.
to actually save money. If they can brew hops themselves and not have to get that sourced in. So you have
Right.
some breweries that are doing the hop type farms and stuff too. So a lot of experimenting. You still got a lot of the adjunct stuff being added. It's an ever-changing type thing. Like I said, 5,000 BC, we ain't going nowhere. It's gonna be
Yeah.
still
No.
beer out there, folks.
Now,
Don't you think different? Yeah.
speaking of the rice, though, this brewery that I'm literally up on the platform where he does the brewing. So, like, this brewery has 4 beers, the Monarch
Mhm.
series, all using basmati rice. Now, they use other ingredients too, obviously, but they all use basmati rice. Now, the owner of this brewery is of Indian descent. He likes to make the Monarch series to showcase Indian flavors. or to pair specifically with Indian dishes. So he has 4 Monarch beers. One is their wheat, one is an IPA, one is a pale ale, and one is a golden lager. And they're all meant to pair specifically with certain Indian dishes. They have coriander, they have orange, they have like different flavors that you would find in Indian dishes. And I love that he has basmati rice in all of them, because that is a staple food source for him when he was in India, you know?
Yeah.
So the Monarch series is really exciting for me. I think that's a really cute thing that he's doing. And I think I don't know, it's kind of neat. He's tying his homeland into the beer, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the cool thing about, like, Dave, I think you saw.
and the beers are all good. Rice or not, they are phenomenal.
I think you saw the post I did on Twitter about the Iranian brewer, that she was bringing stuff from her homeland. So she's been able to.
Yeah.
That's the things you get from it. So right now, I can't put any details out there, but I'm in talks to actually have a brewer. It's an importer here in the States, but they actually import Nigerian beer.
Okay.
That we're going to be talking about on the upcoming show. But they're going to be getting me stuff with the Nigerian beer they're actually doing as well. So that's the cool thing about what takes place. You have all these different beers that are in play that makes it fun to experiment with beer. So I think we still
using
got a lot of good
local
stuff.
ingredients, something that we might not get here. So it's interesting to try different flavor profiles. You know, who knows what kind of hops and other ingredients you're using. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it is. It is. And by the way, if you're wondering what I'm drinking now, because I took a little break before I go to my next beer, I'm having a little Legend whiskey.
Right.
So this is from James B. Beam. I don't know if that's different than Jim Beam, but James B. Beam Distillery, because they make sure to not just say Jim Beam, apparently. But it's Kentucky
Hey, that's a copyright lawsuit looking for a place to happen.
Well, I think it's the same. I think it's just a different division but the Legend. It's pretty good. 47% ABV.
Yeah, that's like the bastard nephew. Yeah, he can't really use the full name.
Yeah,
the redheaded stepchild.
That's James. That's James B. So yeah. And then the other beer news story, which I know will be close to Mal's heart here. Pink Boots Society breaking societal norms within the brewing industry, says Mal's now a member of Pink Boots.
I just joined 2 weeks ago.
Cool. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with Pink Boots Society. It's all women doing beer. Here's the thing with the history of brewing. First brewing was done by women.
Yeah.
So why the hell are they breaking norms when they're basically returning it back to women that actually were the first brewers?
They're breaking norms because they're also making a place for anyone who's trans, anyone who doesn't fit into the sexual norm either. So like we have folks of all types who are minorities within brewing. But it's like, I mean, it started as a women's only thing. That's true, but it didn't stay that way. Honestly, I met several lovely gentlemen at an event on Tuesday at Miskatonic Brewing. We were doing a beer that's going to be released on International Women's Day, which happens to be my birthday, by the way. So super excited. Nice. March 8th. Beer will be released from the Pink Boots Society.
Well, your birthday is March 8th. Mine is March 9th.
I know. We're both Pisces.
My mother's is March 9th.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
But yeah, so this beer, it's a red ale, and it's I was taking the mash out of the tank after, and I poured the hops in and was involved in it. My coworker Kate, she was helping put the mill and the grain in the mill. Words are fun. I use them goodly. But yeah, everyone participated. Everyone had a part to play, and it was just really fun and super exciting. And it wasn't just women. We had a lovely mix of amazing human beings, and I loved just getting to know some other people who aren't bearded white men in beer. No offense, Dave.
Yeah.
But I do know a lot of those, and I'm friends with a lot of those, and I get along with a lot of those. But it was so weird to be in a space that was all like people who don't fit the norm making beer. Like, I was so excited. I've never met so many women who were so much like me. It was really weird.
Well, that's
so yeah. Very exciting. Very exciting. I'm super excited to see that one come out. So I don't know the name of it just yet, but I know it's going to be a red ale that comes out on March 8th, and it's we brewed it at Miskatonics, so I don't know where they're going with the release, but.
Well, that's the whole thing with the diversity type thing of it. But to this thing, like the article itself, it was talking about women being in a male-dominated industry, and it was kind of like, that's because you don't know the history of brewing, and you know how women got pushed out of the brewery for men to actually do it too. So it's kind of like they're not. To me, it's not breaking norms. To me, it's returning it back to the people that were actually
correct,
the ones who really started and were doing a lot of it. So
they're breaking current societal norms. They're not breaking societal norms in general. They're breaking the current ones, because the current societal norms, honestly, when I'm at the tap room and someone wants to ask a question about beer, they're asking me for one of my male coworkers, and I'm like,
really? Do they still do that? Do they still
they still do that. They still do that. And honestly, I'm like, sir, if you want to know more about beer, I know more than any person in this room about beer. In fact, I know more about than any person in this town probably knows about beer. So if you want to ask a question, I'm the one to ask. But they still do that. It still happens.
Really?
Yes. And
Listen,
honestly,
I don't doubt
you just go drink your Red Claw or White Claw, little lady. Yeah.
I'm like, I got a door you can leave out of, but that's just me. But anyway, but it's kind of like, I mean, from talking from in the past with some of the other women in beer, it was a few years ago we had done that, but I guess there are still Neanderthals out there that kind of still have that type of appeal.
Now hold up. I don't necessarily think they're all Neanderthals. I just think they're uninformed. And I'm okay with someone being uninformed. I'm happy to inform them. I'm very happy to womansplain a thing.
But they're coming in with a preconceived notion, thinking that you don't like. That's why I say Neanderthal. Like, you're just coming up with that. Like, your not mind isn't open to anybody could actually help you here at the thing here.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause I go to a place and I'll ask a guy something and they'll be like, oh no, that's a stout. Like, that's not a stout. That's freaking strong ale. Or that's like an IPA. Like, you don't know how to tell your beers. Like, but I don't sit there. Can I have a woman tell me what the actual beer is? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, so that's why I call them they're still stuck in old times.
No, it still happens. But I told you the last 4 or 5 years before I was working in the brewing industry, I was working in a truck and trailer repair facility. I was the office manager of 3 locations, running all of the books, all the money for 3 locations, for all semi-truck and trailer repair. And I would have these truckers come in and they'd say, is there a mechanic I can talk to? I said, no, you're going to talk to me. And they'd say, okay, well, I need to talk to someone who knows what they're talking about. And I said, what's your problem, or you don't get it fixed? And they would say, okay, well, that black thing up on the top back corner of the cab, it's coming off. I said, oh, you mean the skirt on your air deflector? Passenger side or driver's side? Like, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. What's your problem? So I spent the last 4 years working with truckers and mechanics. Where they all expected me to not know what the hell I was doing. So coming into beer, where I really knew what I was doing, this has actually been pretty easy, actually. I do look at it as an opportunity to show people that there's more to it than what they think there is. I mean, I had a couple come in super sweet. They were excited about beer. They obviously had been learning a few things, but they weren't there yet. And they ordered the Pilsner and the cream ale, and then they asked for some orange juice. And I'm thinking, why did they want orange juice? That's fine, whatever. They poured it into those beers trying to make beer mosas that worked. And I'm sitting here going, fuck me. Why are you putting orange juice in my beer? And then I'm like, no. They wanted a beer mosa. They got a beer mosa. They could have asked for a beer mosa. I would have given them a beer mosa. That's not a problem. But you know, they're playing with it because they're just learning. And I wasn't angry at them. I'm just like, they're figuring it out, and they're figuring it out how they figure it out. It's cool. You can do your thing. I'm not going to get too angry at you. I don't like it when people assume that I don't know beer because I'm a woman. It still happens a lot. But
too much. It happens too much.
I love the opportunity to show people that they have things to learn still.
There you go.
So I have this opportunity, and I will take full advantage of that opportunity to make the world a slightly better place if I can.
I'm gonna grab another beer. I'm gonna grab another beer because I think I want a different one than the one I actually pulled out. So I'm gonna grab that while you guys converse a little bit more.
Very good.
Cheers.
Yeah. It's funny today when I was at Ravinia.
Yeah.
Speaking of the orange, the infusion that Jeff was working on was the cream ale with fresh oranges. That was really good. I had one of those. Yeah, so it's funny you just mentioned that.
So last week he did the cream ale with raspberry. So he tried it with raspberry, and now he's trying it with the oranges because they were asking me like, hey, what fruit should we try to infuse this with? I'm like, okay, so raspberry, orange, blood orange you could do, but we've done blood orange a couple times. I'm like, that's kind of been overdone by us. Maybe try. I hate to do strawberry because it tastes artificial all the time.
Yeah.
What about watermelon? I don't know. So
really
like we were going
too. So yeah.
Yeah. But we were throwing ideas back and forth on like what to infuse in the cream ale because they're kind of doing this little. They're playing every week with the Mug Club members on Thursday nights. They're releasing this infusion beer that's like just a fun little play for them to just try out and have fun with. So one of the perks of being a Mug Club member.
Yeah, because I did a video of the orange. I'll put that out in a couple days, but that was really good. Like the nice fresh orange. It didn't taste artificial like some things do. It wasn't like orange flavored. It was real, oranges, and that tasted really good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff and Chris, as much as they're preoccupied with the other stuff going on with the company, they still freaking love their beer, man. They love it. And they want it to be a good product, and they want it to be great, and they do their best.
Yeah.
So choose saying, just to let you know.
We have a fan out there right now that is watching this.
What? Shout out. What's up? Welcome.
So if you could wave.
Did you subscribe?
Hi.
Did you subscribe?
Apparently we have a fan watching without the audio, and we're supposed to wave to them
audio?
In the tap room right now.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to come out and meet them, or?
Well, it's a fan. You should.
I can come out and meet a fan, I suppose. Is it someone who knew about us before? Or is...
See if you can get them to come on cam.
Yeah.
So Chu actually
fan cam, world premiere fan cam.
Chu actually put our live stream up on one of the screens here in the Liquid Love tap room.
All right.
And this guy was watching us in the tap room. Hi.
He's spreading the love at Liquid Love.
My name's Mallory. Yes. But I also have J BeerVentures and Dave from Beer in Front. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All beer people all around. Well, he is Chicago. Rod J is Baltimore at the moment, but he used to be Ohio. So, yeah. You've been watching all night. I'm like, I feel awkward now.
Ask him what his favorite beer style is.
Yeah, what's he drinking?
It's lovely to meet you. He's asking what you're drinking. Oh, the patio napper.
All right.
The Imperial Stout. Oh, your usual?
Oh, the barrel.
Have you tried the Mexican chocolate? What'd you think? The original was better? Fair enough. Yeah. I hear you. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. You too.
Hit like, subscribe, and share. Yeah.
Like, subscribe.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and share is what they're saying.
I was going to have Mal ask a couple other questions, but she was out of there.
Yeah.
So the guy was actually watching us. The guy was watching us on a screen with no audio. He just saw that we were up there and is that your wife back there? Because apparently he has met me before, and I feel like an ass right now because he knew who I was.
Well, good thing the audio's off now. Yeah.
Well, you're a celebrity.
No kidding.
You're a celebrity, so yeah.
I'm gonna grab another one, and I have to. Before Alexa yells at me again, I got to go grab laundry. So I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okay, got you.
All right.
Yeah, you're a celebrity now, Mal. So just give him an autograph. I'm gonna sign that napkin for you, sir. There you go. Emerson says, "Fucking Mal gets tweaked at home and starts fights with Alexa." Nice.
I don't have to get tweaked to fight with Alexa. I can fight with her anytime. Honestly, when she comes in with one of her notifications of a thing that I'm supposed to remember, I'm just like, Alexa, shut the fuck up.
So
And she says, okay.
the beer I actually got, I haven't cracked it open yet. I'm gonna let it sit here for a bit, but it's from Double Nickel. It's out of Pensacola, New Jersey, which good stuff out of Double Nickel for the people up in Jersey that get their stuff. 10.3 ABV. It is a Nocturnal Creatures 7 tiramisu is inspired imperial dessert stout. So pretty cool looking. I could put
Oh, I love the can art. Look at that.
Put the X-Files music on for that one there. But
No,
yeah,
it looks like the creatures from the abyss.
yeah.
Like the butterfly creatures that were down in the ocean.
It is a butterfly, yeah.
Yeah,
I think on
it
the whole
looks like
can, it's like almost like a jellyfish when you take a first glance at it too, I think. But yeah, it
hence
is a
the
butterfly.
abyss.
Yeah. So, or it could be an alien. You know, you look at that, could be the eyes closed like an alien.
Well,
Oh,
you
wait
could
a minute,
argue
now
that the
you're
abyss
flipping
was that
around.
too.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
flip.
yeah.
I
You're on
ain't
the
flipping
bottom now.
nothing.
You're on the bottom. Started from the bottom, now you're there.
I was about to say I've heard that before, but that's inappropriate to say.
Oh.
Am I not supposed to make that joke? It felt like an inappropriate joke.
You can make that joke. I just didn't see it coming.
And his name is John C.
Wait, Rajay, you didn't see it coming? I'm pretty sure you've said that before too.
Maybe. I cannot confirm or deny. Yes. This is a nice little whiskey if you happen to pick it up. Just saying.
Nice.
Nice little break up the routine type thing. But I was going to ask you something because I wait for Dave to come back. Because I don't know. I don't know. We're into February. And I was like, so I want to do a top beers of last year. And Dave's back now. So perfect timing. So I didn't do a video on it because I'm like, I don't know if everybody kind of jumps on this whole thing. I'm not probably going to do a top beers of 2023, but I'm kind of curious what some of your favorite beers were you may have had. Anything that stood out for you? Anything that was like a favorite? Initially, I was going to do it. I had like my top beers, but then I was like, you know what? I feel like everybody's kind of doing it. But at the same point, people want to know what kind of beers you may have enjoyed. So any top beers you had over the last year that you really liked that stood out to you?
Oh, goodness. That's a tough one. The ESB from Hot Butcher surprised me. The first time I went to their tap room, I was expecting all hazies and nothing but hazies. They had an ESB on, and I tried it, and it was so traditional and exactly how it was supposed to be. And it made all of my insides pleased. So the ESB from Hot Butcher, I can't even remember the name of the beer. I just remember the ESB from Hot Butcher. And the second time I went back, they didn't have it on tap anymore, and I was sad. But I really, really liked that beer. That one stood out big for me.
Everything I think that they do, and they're known for hazies, but everything that I've had that's not a hazy from Hot Butcher has been excellent, and I almost like them more than the New England style.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I like their other stuff. I like the stuff that's not the hazies from them. I mean, the hazies are fine, but they're nothing to write home about most of the time. But their other stuff really shines. It really does, and nobody knows about it.
Yeah, their stout game is really tight over there.
Oh, the Fat Bear.
Yeah.
Fat Bear. Oh my God, that beer. Oh,
yeah, you and Big Daddy, you and Big Daddy both love that beer for sure. What about you, Dave?
Yeah, you kind of put me on the spot. I love everything from Revolution's Barrel Age series, the Deepwood series. I haven't had a bad one yet, but one that was really surprising was from Dovetail, and I can't think of the name off the top of my head. It comes out in the spring. It's like I think it's Hopfen Lager, where it's kind of like a dry hopped lager.
Oh,
but it's all the noble hops. You know, it's Dovetail. They're not doing hazy IPAs, but that was really good. Like you had the nice dry hopped noble hops in there. That I thought was excellent. Like, I wish that would be a year-round thing.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I had a list like, so for those people that follow me in Untapped, if you're following me, you kind of see I don't usually rate. I rarely ever give a 5. I think since I've had Untapped since 2013, maybe, I think I still have given less 5s than maybe my hands and toes. It might still just be my hands because I'm usually like a 5 is such a high score. Last year, I had one beer that stood out. Now, if I mention other half, if you've had the other half, you know how good they do.
Yeah.
And then if I mention the Veil, you know about the Veil and what they may do if you've had that. If you mention WeldWorks, and you mentioned Side Project Brewing, another 2 other great breweries, and you said all 4 are going to get together on a beer, you're probably like, I'm going to probably want that, right?
Yeah.
And so I ended up grabbing a beer called Bubble Wrap, which was their Imperial Stout, 14.5 ABV. This beer was just like, you felt like you were walking on a different level when you were drinking this beer. I mean, this was like one of the best Imperial Stouts. I expected nothing less, seeing that they actually collaborated on this thing. And it was like actually the 2021 version I think I cracked open last year. So I always look at when I actually crack it open. It doesn't have to be brewed that year. It's just a year I actually drank it.
Yeah.
I feel like 5 was undercutting that beer. That beer was so tasty. I mean, it was like liquid caramel fudge. I can still remember things about that beer. It was kind of like wake up in the night with chills, like, oh, I need that. Yeah. I need that bubble wrap. I need that bubble wrap. Like I'm walking around to like the store like Dave Chappelle. Got any more of that bubble wrap? Like that's how good this beer actually was.
I can hear Rod drooling right now as he's talking about that beer.
Yeah, this beer was just phenomenal. But it was just one of those finds. I got it at one of my stores that they're always legit on the beers they actually put out. And I was like, give it a shot. I saw the names and it was like, oh, it was so good. And that's kind of the fun too, because I feel like it was 2 years older and they actually keep well on stuff they actually sell at the store or whatever. So it was like kept in good shape. Don't know how it would have been maybe fresh, but cellared after 2 years. Oh, it was just freaking godsend at that point. It was just so tasty. So yes, Mal, refill. Oh, my bad. Hold on. That's Chew's call for beer day.
Something like.
But that was probably my top beer that I actually had.
I forgot.
Well, it was a top beer, but I had some pretty good other stuff last year too. But
sorry, did you guys want to see Chew pour this one?
Yes, let's see Chew pour. Let's see Chew's pouring skills. Get you up on the. Hold on, Chew. Get you up on the big screen here.
Yeah.
Hold on. Not up on the big screen yet. There's your hand.
There you go. No pressure. Wait.
It's stuck.
Wait a minute. We got Chew in the mix. It's stuck.
Or do you want Oktoberfest?
Just pick a thing, Chew. It's cool. So there's Chew pouring. All right, look at that lovely pour.
That's a good pour.
That's a good pour right there.
Right there. Can we give him some applause, folks? Can we give him some applause? That was a good pour.
You're fine, babe. I'm not showing you.
Yeah.
He's like holding up his hand to make sure that I don't show him on the camera.
He's like one of those guys in the mafia that are being walked out in the purple walk trying to like block their face.
Yeah. It was like Joe Dirt. It was Joe Dirt where he was like, oh no, it was you. It was Joe Dirt. And he's like, no, you say the guy. No, Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt. And Christopher Walken gets everybody applauding him. Chew with the pour of the new year. There you go. Shout out from Emerson.
Chew,
JT.
Was that the Golden Lager? Monarch Golden Lager.
There you go. That's the rice one, right? Monarch?
Yeah, it is. It's made with basmati rice, and it's intended to pair with, if I remember correctly, it was intended to pair with green curry, but I could be wrong. The owner might call me out on saying the wrong thing that it's supposed to pair with, but like the coconut milk, the green curry.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like the one that's like not as spicy, but it's coconutty. So I think that's what this one was supposed to pair with, if I remember correctly.
JT said he had spotted cow for the first time. It was good, but not as special as their hype would suggest. Wisconsin brews need to grow up and distribute to Chicago. Yeah. Oh, spotted
Well, James,
cow, I did
compare the Spotted Cow to the Ravinia King's Cream Ale that's done with Southern Illinois University, the Saluki Brews or whatever they call it. They do a really nice job. Honestly, their cream ale is quite good. That's Dave. That's what you had with the orange infusion. It was the King's Cream Ale that with the Southern
with the
Illinois
SIU.
University students designed.
Yeah. No, I agree about Spotted Cow. It's a decent beer, but like I like Moon Man from them. Like their fruited beers are outstanding, but Spotted Cow is just I mean, it's okay. You're not going to throw it down the drain, but I've had better.
My thought on it is, okay, Spotted Cow, and I've never had it, so this is kind of just my thinking of it, because I think of Spotted Cow being in that group, like with Highlight and some of the other ones that came out. Like the hype was out so much on them because they were out so early into the game that other beers have caught up to them. So then when you have them now, it's kind of not as like lustrous like it was when it came out years ago.
Right.
It's kind of like it's good. But things have caught up with it, so now you're in a different field.
And it also has that mystique like you used to have with Coors when you couldn't get it. Like, everybody wanted to have a Coors, and then once it was distributed, you're like, this is just okay. And that's the same with Spotted Cow because it's only in Wisconsin.
Right.
Yeah. Which, speaking of Coors, isn't that so funny? I still get views on my Coors video, by the way. People love watching the Coors review for whatever reason. But to think that Coors was so popular at one time in the 70s that it was the featured beer about smuggling from Texas to Florida. Like, you got to realize, like, that's just like, for to be a macro, too, is like this special thing that people were just like, they wanted so bad that they put this wager out if the Bandit and the Snowman could get the beer there. So,
Well, you even remember, like, Fat Tire before it was nationwide. I remember almost 20 years ago, a friend was going through St. Louis, and I had her pick me up some Fat Tire to bring back on the plane because you couldn't get it here. Then once you could get it here and you had it, you're like, really? This isn't all that good. I mean, it's okay.
No, gotta say, Fat Tire was my crossover beer, so I have a soft spot for it. But now the new version of Fat Tire is literally just hell in a can for me because it's not what I want anymore. Chu took the moment to compare the Yingling, how it's like stationary. It's a local kind of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Yingling is that thing, too. Yingling, like, for me, I grew up in Jersey, so we got Yingling from the time I was in high school going up through, like, PA and stuff. But, yeah, you would get to other spots in the country, and there was, like, this desire to have Yingling because people can now, like, even Big Daddy, our buddy Big Daddy Mojo, he went down, I think it was Indiana or something a couple of years ago when they got it there. He came back with a trunk load of Yingling. That was just the thing that did. It was like you wanted because you heard so much. So he had the traditional, he had the black and tan, he had the light, he had it all like just loaded up in his trunk because you wanted to get it if you could get it. It's that allure of not being able to get it. It's kind of like for me being on the East Coast now it's like me getting Hetty Topper or me getting something from Alchemist or something like that, or things along those lines.
Well, it's funny. My dad was a diehard Pittsburgh fan, Steelers, Pirates, the whole works, and he'd never been to Pittsburgh. His whole life, he'd never been to Pittsburgh. His dad was from there. So his dad moved here before he was born, and he was raised on Pittsburgh. Like, that was the thing. And I remember him being so excited about getting these cans of Yingling, and it was like the where you peel back the top, the peel back tops of the cans.
Yeah.
And it had the Steelers that had won the Super Bowl on the can.
Yeah.
Like they had the Steelers on the can and like, all the players and stuff, like a photo of them. And he was so excited to get this. And he had like, talked to like 10 different people to try and get him this freaking can of beer. And he drank the can. He still has that damn can on his shelf in his living room because he's so proud of that Yingling can that had the Super Bowl winning Steelers from that year. And he was so excited.
Yeah.
It was just kind of cute, but I remember this as a child, seeing him so excited about a can of beer. So maybe that's where this all came from.
Maybe. I mean, you get tied to stuff. I mean, anytime I was talking on one of the comments, I responded to somebody because on the Coors video, as a matter of fact, someone had replied about their father and how they were kind of tied to it and drinking it and stuff like that. Now he drinks it like at age 57, and it's just like this. And when I was a kid, anytime I have a Miller High Life, it brings up thoughts of my grandparents. They used to drink Miller High Life, and I said first sips came off of Miller High Life beer. But anytime I have it, you have that tied to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So you have like a
Well,
bonding.
I still crave MGD, and that was one of Dad's beers that he always had. He was a Rusty Wallace fan for NASCAR. And Rusty Wallace had the Miller Genuine Draft car, and it was this whole thing. And I remember that from my childhood. And I remember once I got old enough to drink, trying Miller Genuine Draft and being pleased with it. And now I can't frickin' find it anywhere. At least the stores I go to don't have it. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I know they still sell it somewhere, but I can't find it.
At is at Jewel, and they only have it in like the 24-ounce cans.
Oh, okay.
It, like if you look at like where they have the big cans at, check that out at Jewel because they have that and like
you know how you get
ice and all that shit.
You know how you get cravings for things from your younger years, of course.
Yeah.
Like I still every once in a while I gotta have some Kraft mac and cheese. That's a thing that I need to make. Sometimes. Or sometimes I have to have like the little cup of soup ramens. Like sometimes.
Oh, the cup of soup thing? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So every once in a while, I really want an MGD, and I can't frickin' find them, and it's just driving me crazy because it's like
hit up the Jewel.
this way back thing. Yeah. Okay, I will check out Jewel.
24-ounce can. Yeah.
I don't want a 24-pack of it. I just want like a 6-pack or you know something. But if it's sold as the big cans, I can deal with that. I can deal with the big can. That's fine. But it's just been driving me crazy because it's one of those things that I can't get a hold of.
Yeah, it took me a while.
The big can, I will help you drink it.
Oh,
take one for the team.
She was willing to help me drink a beer. Thank you, darling. That's the one thing I need the most help with is finishing a beer.
That'd be kind of interesting. We might do a video series on that. Beers I used to drink that I don't drink anymore. Kind of go back.
Yeah.
I drank a lot of MGD back in the 90s for college and stuff.
Yeah.
So, Rolling Rock. You drink Rolling Rock. And,
Rolling Rock.
I was at West Virginia, Iron City, because I was at WVU. We get Iron City that would come through. So Stroh's. We used to get Stroh's. And God.
Huh?
That would be some crazy beers to go back and revisit now.
She was reminding me that we had an Iron City Peach at a game of some sort. What?
I didn't know Iron City.
At the Pittsburgh game, we had Iron City Peach. Wow. Actually, I do remember that. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been, but it was.
JT, great line from Johnny Gleason there, my friend. Or Jimmy. Wait a minute. Gleason, Jackie Gleason. Great line from Jackie Gleason, Smoking the Bandit. Give me a Diablo sandwich and Dr. Pepper and make it snappy.
Chew, stop farting. Sorry.
Yingling is a freaking Nazi who refused to distribute to us union guys in Chicago. The beers all over New Orleans. No, they're last year, but they refused to distribute. Well, that's in Illinois is one of the. I thought it was in all 50 states now.
No.
I thought they cleared it. Okay, so Illinois is a state that's not in yet. And then I'm trying to think what other state it's not in because
I cannot buy Yingling here. I cannot buy Yingling here.
Kind of hilarious because I had Yingling and it doesn't live up to its hype. It's pretty much exactly like old style. They're darker varieties. I mean, it all depends on your appeal. I like their black and tan. I think their black and tan is pretty decent.
I've heard that one they do with Hershey's is good too.
That one, the chocolate porter is thin, but it's a porter. So, but chocolate. Growing up for me, growing up from New Jersey, going to Hershey Park as a kid, having Hershey chocolates around there, it's a great Hershey feel that you get through the beer.
Okay.
So if you like Hershey chocolate, you'd enjoy that one, I think.
But see, for me, going back to like Yingling, it's me wanting to kind of relive things. Like I kind of go back from it, you know? Oh yeah, Rolling Rock had the green bottle issue. That is true. But if you put a flashlight under them,
we didn't care. As long as it still had ABV, we were drinking it.
Yeah.
But if you put that flashlight underneath, it looked really pretty in pictures. Just saying.
Yeah. There you go. You Stop Farting is the name of my ska band.
Emerson just said Chew Stop Farting is the name of his ska band. Like, seriously, Chew, though, stop farting.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious of what states do not have Yingling.
You're curious about Chew farting?
No, the Yingling state.
Oh,
I got to put it
sorry.
into the machine. Got 3 new states last year. Beer distribution states 20. Well, that's 2022. So it's changed since then. Your days of having to smuggle Yingling beers across. But yeah. No. Nothing that really pulls up that I'm trying to see here real quick. But yeah, Illinois, I thought they did all 50 once they got out there. But that's crazy because they're on the West Coast on stuff now too. They just skipped over.
Yep.
Yeah.
No. Cannot get Yingling here. I can go to Wisconsin and get it, but I can't get it here.
Yeah. Well, you go down to Indiana and get it too.
I can go to Michigan and get it, and I can't get it here.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a beer worth hunting down. It's kind of like...
No, I mean, just for the nostalgia, but still.
Yeah. For me, it's more just a looking back because, again, we had that. We were like in our friend's backyard in high school, sneaking beers. We were getting after the liquor store, right? So, and then in college, having it there. But yeah, that'd be kind of fun. I mean, if I could get, I don't think they sell it around here. I thought they had it in Kentucky at one point, like the old Red Dog. Like that was one of the beers. It'd be just funny to take a time warp back to beers you used to actually like and see what you think about them now.
You just got really excited about the Red Dog. Just
I
so
know,
you know.
he's a big Red Dog fan. Give him Red Dog and Golden
Ale. Yeah.
You give him Red Dog and Golden Girls on a Saturday night, he's in heaven.
Oh God, Red Dog and Golden Girls on a Saturday night show. Oh jeez. He says he has to change his underwear.
Yeah, he just mopped the floor. He made to clean up again. I'm just saying.
You just mopped the floor. Don't do that.
Yeah. So
I need to go to the Red Dog Saloon and get a Red Dog.
Apparently, he used to go to the Red Dog Saloon and get a Red Dog.
Oh.
That seems too far. I didn't go to like the MGD Saloon and get an MGD. Like
it's only like 5 miles away from you. It had nothing to do with Red Dog.
Oh, it was just called the Red Dog Saloon. It was just a lucky coincidence. Yeah. Okay.
You know, as I rebuild, kind of, I'm not gonna do it as much now in the apartment. I'm starting to rebuild. I rebuilt a little bit of the beer wall. I wouldn't mind having a Red Dog sign in the background,
like the old neon,
the old
the
neon
dog lit up.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool to actually have in the background as nostalgia. Yeah,
I think you're going on eBay right now looking for him on eBay.
Beer. It has it on the can. It's a premium beer on the can.
So she just cut in to say that Red Dog is a premium beer. It says it right on the can. Just so you know, it is a premium beer.
You could tell so does Foster's as well. So
yeah, Foster's was premium too.
No, that's Australian.
No, Foster's was Australian for Canadian beer. Yes.
Yeah. Foster's isn't even made there. Foster's is made in Texas.
Oh, Texas? I thought it was Canada.
No, I grabbed some Foster's like a year ago for the show, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, Texas? What the hell is this?
I remember seeing a can that said it was bottled in Canada, or it was a bottle, but I saw it was bottled in Canada, and I'm thinking, so Foster's, Australian for Canadian beer.
Yeah.
Okay, check, got it.
Well, Foster's, it was done in the UK back in the day, right? So it was like
it's Australia.
They weren't making it in Australia though, but the UK was, I think, making it, and they were. I don't know how they got away with saying Australian for beer because it was never done in Australia. So.
Wait, never? Not once was it done in Australia?
From the history I saw, no. If you ask an Australian about Foster's, they have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, they know as they're older, but like you don't see it in the stores and stuff. I don't think over there. So like Sam's not here in the chat. If Sam was here in the chat, he could verify it. But
yeah,
from people I knew in Australia, they were like, no, that's not made. That's like not a beer we drink here, really.
So it's funny. I work for Ravinia, and Chris, one of the other owner, other than Jeff, when he met Alex, who is he's another owner. Alex lives in Australia. Chris used to live in Australia. Two of his children have dual citizenship because Chris lived in Australia for 10 years. And the first two beers of Ravinia were the Grunsfeld and the Flight of the Rooster. It was a saison, a dry hopped lager and a saison. Those were the first two beers that Ravinia ever released. The original brewing of those beers happened in Australia. So the first times they went through those, like the recipe and like figured out what they were doing was in Australia. It wasn't until Chris came back here that he found a space, opened the brewery, and used his and Alex's recipes to start the brewery.
Okay.
So kind of fun. So we are Australian for beer in Ravinia, apparently.
Rod, I just sent you a link in the chat thing. I've got your neon sign right there.
Oh, you found it out there already?
No way.
$131 on eBay. There you go.
It's a collectible. It's a collectible. There you
Heck
go.
yeah. You need yourself a Red Dog sign behind you on the wall.
Yeah, they got a few that are up there from Red Dog.
Dave, she was angry that you didn't send the link to him instead because he wants to buy it.
It's a bidding other Red Dog there.
Yeah, it's a bidding war between Rod and Chew now. Yeah. They're just gonna have a bidding war on it. It's on eBay, babe.
Yeah. Well, I was always told that it wasn't really in Australia, but I'm looking online here. They said it's an Australian lager, but they said in Australia it's like 4% ABV, in the US it's 5% ABV, in the UK it's 3.7%. But it is owned by Japanese brewing group Asahi. So I don't know if they're brewing in Australia or brewing in Japan with it. The biggest market, the UK, where the rights are held under Heineken International. So,
Japanese, Australian, Texas, Canadian beer.
Like all the people that seem to be making or dealing with it aren't people in Australia. So, it said it was created by two American brothers, William M. and Ralph R. Foster, who arrived in Melbourne from New York in 1886. The brothers began brewing Foster's Lager in November 1888. Made available to the public 1889. First exported in 1901 when bottles were sent to Australia combatants in the Boer War. So a couple Americans went to Australia and created the beer. So interesting. That could have been a whole video in itself talking about history. Yeah. Do the right thing. Drink Miller High Life. Like we were just talking about Miller High Life a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which occasionally I'll drink that, but
not
as much. But when I did the champagne bottle was the last one I did, and that was kind of like in that video I kind of go pay back to the grandparents since they were like the first ones that, as a kid, that's what they had. They had those little small Miller High Life bottles, right?
Those little 7-ounce bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, go give me a 7-ounce bottle out of the fridge or whatever. You go get it and take a little sip as your way back over sometimes, Yeah. Or granddad would let you sip it more than grandma would. But yeah. Well, Tim, I don't know if that's a good thing, Timor, functioning alcoholic. I'm just saying. But you're handling things.
I mean, the functional is an important word in that statement. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I have more than 2 to 3 beers a day, but a lot of that is me being at work and making sure that my taps are fine, making sure that my customers are happy, making sure that the beer's good to go out to the customers. I do that. I check all the taps, all these things.
You don't have to explain it. We call that quality control.
Yeah,
it is quality. It is quality control. But I end up having 2 to 3 beers a day, and it's spaced out enough that I think I'm doing all right. So I will take that as a win. Now Thursday nights are obviously a different animal.
Well, there you go. Well, JT, you're a little older than me. Those would have been great high school staple. You could easily throw a few of those in the backpack, the 7-ounce bottles. Yeah. But here's a question, a little off the beer kind of pop culture, like any type of shows you guys are into right now, anything you're watching, like Netflix, TV, Amazon, anything. That's kind of your. I've been trying to catch up on Stranger Things, and I'm finally to the last episode. So It's funny, right? Because I was like trying to figure out where I was, and I realized I never watched season 3. So I've been watching that the last week and a half since I had the COVID battle. Got to last night to the last episode of season 4. I was about to start playing it, and it's like, wait a second. It was like 11:15 at night. Like, how long is this one? So I make sure that I get up in the morning. 2.5 hours. I'm like, I'm not finishing you right now. I have to catch you on the weekend. But any shows you guys are kind of
spoiler
into?
alert! Spoiler alert! You told me how long that season finale
That's the
is.
season 4 finale, though. That's the season 4, but
yeah,
but that's one of the shows I've been catching up on, and straight. Which for me is great as a Gen Xer, seeing the whole '80s references. So I'm really enjoying it. But anything you guys are kind of watching? Anything you're into right now?
Been catching the new True Detective.
Oh, I've been on that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't know what I think about this season. I'm kind of like in, hedging, but I'll continue for a couple more, but been watching that.
Yeah. Mal?
So Chu and I are watching a show called Ghosts.
Okay.
We watched the UK version first, which had like 2 seasons, and then we're watching the US version, which is up to 3 seasons now. But it's 2 people who they find out that she's inherited this old manor house, and they move in and plan to change it into a B&B. And she falls, hits her head, and all of a sudden she can see all the ghosts that exist in the space, and they are needy as fuck. So it's a really fun show because, they're from all different, periods of time. Like there's a Native American one, there's a Viking one, there's a Victorian one, and there's a 1970s politician, there's all this stuff. So she's kind of dealing with all of their issues while trying to run a business with her husband. It's kind of cute. I enjoyed the show. The UK version was really fun too. I liked that as well. But yeah, that one's been really, really fun. And then Chu and I are watching the brand new Frasier.
Okay.
Oh, it's a new Frasier now. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because we definitely watched the old one, and this is him moving across the hall from his son, who is a grown adult and a firefighter now. Yes. So yeah, it's Frasier in dealing with being a professor at a college while trying to reconnect to his estranged son. It's pretty amusing.
Is this on NBC also, or is it on one of the other services? I haven't heard anything about it.
We're watching both of those, I think, on Paramount actually right now. But I don't.
It might be a Paramount show because they got their stuff.
I don't know what original network it was from, but I know we're watching it on Paramount at the moment.
Okay.
We started.
Is Paramount NBC? I'm not sure.
No, I think Paramount CBS.
Oh, it's the
they
CBS.
Always have, like,
okay.
The CBS football games on there.
We started watching. Chu and I really enjoyed all the seasons of the original Frasier. We've watched all of those and everything. So we thought we would get the new one, give the new one a try, and I'd say about 5 episodes in, and I mean the highbrow humor just cracks me up. Somebody who's too stuffy to understand how the world works is amusing to me. So I'm highly amused. So it's working out for me.
Okay. Yeah, we started catching. It's on Apple, and there's 4 seasons of it, but it's called For All Mankind, and it's like what would have happened if the Soviets landed on the moon first. And we watched the first episode, and it was really good. Like, you're showing like all the old clips, but the first person on the moon was a Soviet, and it's like the whole space race set from like a different perspective. So, I mean, the first episode was really good. So we're going to start binging that.
Okay, Chu's definitely going to watch whatever you just talked about. For All Mankind, you said it was called?
Yeah, it's on Apple.
So yeah, it's on Apple. We have Apple for 1 month right now. My dad needed it for something. Binge it, yeah. So Chu will probably binge that.
Yeah.
Well,
and then we watched Lower Decks. Have you seen Lower Decks?
I've not heard of that one.
I caught a couple episodes of it.
So it's like a Star Trek spinoff, but it's like the people who are on the lower decks who aren't involved in the direct. It's animated. Sorry, it is animated. She was like, "It's cartoon. It's a cartoon." Yes, it's animated, but
I like how
it's about
Chu like edits you as you're trying to tell a story too. By the way, that's funny.
a lot of that is a lot of that is why he's not allowed to do commentary when I'm talking. But besides that, yeah. So this Lower Deck show, it's they reference a lot of old Star Trek things. I'm not a Star Trek fan in general, but my father was, so I'm familiar with all of the old episodes, be it the original or the Next Generation or whatever. I watched all of it with my dad.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's the people who do the grunt work on the ship
Yeah,
and what they have to go through being the grunt workers on a frickin' starship that's like doing all this crazy stuff that they're all doing all the time. It's actually really funny. I enjoyed it.
Well, it's interesting. There was a show they were going to do at one point for Marvel, and I think they did it on ABC, but it bombed out. And I thought it would have been kind of funny, but it was going to be about the cleanup people. So I can't remember what the name of the show was, but it was basically the people that have to come in to work after the Avengers bust shit up or things like that happen. They got to come up to clean up the city and stuff. But I guess it just failed. But it was like a couple years ago they were doing that one. But
the concept sounds funny.
The concept sounds funny, you know.
Yeah.
But JT betcha Fargo. I did finish Fargo. I thought Fargo was another good show this season. I really enjoy watching that each season on I think that's AMC, I believe, or FX. It's one of the two. But that was actually pretty good. Although this last one probably wasn't my favorite of the ones I've seen, but it was still pretty good. So
nice.
That was pretty solid. So that's when I was like, I was done with that. And I'm like, what do I watch now? Oh, let's watch Stranger Things. I haven't got caught up on that. So I got back into watching that. And True Detective, we've been waiting for like months for True Detective to start. So the Dave's thing is kind of like, I'm the same way kind of with you. Like, what is happening? My wife's into a little bit more than I am, but I'm watching and I'm like, people are like, oh, this is the best writing since season one. I'm like, I wouldn't say that's the case for sure. But, you know, season one with Woody and with Matthew were pretty solid. This one, Jodie Foster's in it. And it's kind of like, it's got this whole spiritual thing, but I'm intrigued enough to stick with it at this point. But I find myself checking my phone or doing emails like during the show at some points. It's just like, it's not holding my attention as good as some of the other seasons have. But right now we're checking into it. And then I do want to see if they release it over here. Gangs of London was in the UK. As now talking about UK shows, they watched American, and that was really good. And they showed the first season here, but they haven't shown the second season yet. And that's actually a pretty solid show. So I want to see that. But movie-wise, we watched Oppenheimer a few months back, and that was a fantastic film. So I can see why it's winning all the awards. I haven't seen all the other films it's up against, but if you haven't seen Oppenheimer, it's coming.
I think it's going to be streaming in like 2 weeks. So I've been holding off to catch up. I think it's like the 15th or 16th it'll be on streaming.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, that's one of the ones we watched it, and she mentioned, like, this would have been good to see the theater. At the theater and the big screen would have been good to see it as well, but I think if you got a pretty good sized TV, you'll enjoy it as well. But just I'm a big fan of Cillian Murphy anyway, because I watched him on Peaky Blinders and when he was just doing other roles, and he's just a solid actor. So, and then, like, I can't even tell you what I was going to tell you because I want to ruin it for you, but you want to guess one of the actors is.
I'd like to watch that, so don't ruin it for me, okay?
Yeah, but one of the other, like the
I think we all know how the movie ends.
Well, we know how it goes.
Yeah, in general.
But the roles that some people are playing in there, because it's almost like I told her at one point, like, is everybody trying to get in this movie? But there's one actor that's playing a role. I knew who it was because I've seen him in a lot of other stuff. She didn't realize who it was, and he ended up, you know, doing well. And you'll be surprised to find out who's actually playing that role. That's all I'm going to say. But it's just like, it's got a great actor all the way around. So it's interesting. It keeps you, you know, it's like a 2-3 hour movie. I think it's like 2:45 or something, but you're intrigued the whole time watching this film. So it's good. Just don't drink a lot of stuff before you watch it. That's all I'll say.
You know, it's funny. Halloween being my favorite holiday, Chu and I trade off who gets to decide what our costumes are each year. And I usually go for something pretty elaborate with 6 hours of makeup and stuff, but he tries not to. There's one year where he effed up. He chose that we would go for Halloween as Madame Marie Curie, which was easy. I just did my hair in like the bun and but I glowed in the dark from head to toe. Every inch of me glowed in the dark. I wanted it to glow blue, but that's really hard to find. So I ended up glowing green. I didn't have a choice. I'm sorry. I know the purists out there are upset, but that's okay. However, 2 went as Dr. Robert Oppenheimer. So it was Madame Marie Curie and Dr.
Ah.
Robert Oppenheimer as a costume couple.
There
So
you
his
go.
front, he was wearing old-timey clothes and he had a lab coat on and he had goggles up on his head. And I completely singed and busted up his clothes all over the front, and like his face had blisters and everything, like it was all burnt up and everything. And then he, except for where the goggles were, of course, it was perfectly clean where the goggles were.
Yeah.
And then his back was pristine, so like showing that he was watching the test things. But yeah, we did that, God, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Yeah, that was a long time ago that we were Madame Marie Curie and Dr. Robert Oppenheimer for Halloween, and nobody knew who the fuck we were, and it was fine, but we had fun.
I will say
I almost won the costume competition because I glowed in the dark from head to toe. That was kind of fun.
with the Oppenheimer movie, I think you'll be amazed at kind of what his role was and everything. I'll put it that way. So it was very interesting because going in, knowing who he was, what you were thinking, and the way it actually was being shown in the movie is kind of like, oh, okay. Like,
Well,
yeah.
Being a history buff, I was aware of what his actual role was, but knowing that people would not have any fucking clue who Dr. Robert Oppenheimer was, I had to take some liberties with what he would look like as a costume.
Yeah.
So I admit that I did not follow proper history. That is true. But I mean, once he said he was Oppenheimer, people who were not drunk as a skunk at the party we were at understood. They were like, "Oh yeah," and they were fine. So, but yeah, it was a tricky costume for sure. It took me 4 tries to figure out how to do the blisters with like liquid gelatin and makeup. Like I had a lot of practice on that.
Well,
all the practice was on YouTube.
Being a person that has actually seen Chew before, have you guys ever gone to Sonny and Cher?
We have not. He's too tall, and I don't have my long hair.
Well, you can walk around knee pad. He
got 9 months to grow it out.
Well, he's not going to walk around on knee pads for a whole night. He would die. You don't do that every other night, you sicko.
Well, you could just put him on skis and have him sprawled out now.
Or if he doesn't with the knee pads, if he doesn't have knee pads, then
too soon.
Yeah, you could do stilts.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Or
I'll do stilts to be taller than you.
We'll get you some heels from Vanessa, who's like 6-inch heels, and then you'll be taller than you.
Actually, honestly, when I have high heels, like high heels, I am taller than him, just barely.
Yeah. You could do Dorothy and Sophia doing.
Dorothy and Sophia. Oh my God.
She's cross-dressing now. Okay.
So he wants to do Dorothy and Sophia from Golden Girls when they dressed up as Sonny and Cher. So he would be Dorothy being Cher, and I would be Sophia, the mom, being Sonny.
You could pull it off. You can pull it off there.
I mean, I'm sure we could pull it off, but holy crap, man.
I was just thinking.
There's so much work in that costume.
Knowing you, I'm like, I think Sonny and Cher could be something you could pull off there.
Actually, yeah, we can pull off Sonny and Cher way easier than we can pull off Dorothy and Sophia doing Sonny and Cher. Please don't make me do all the work involved. Yeah. Can you imagine me having to draw on all of our wrinkles? Like we have a couple, but we don't have enough for that.
You could go Rocky and Adrian, but then Chew's going to shave the mustache for that.
Yeah, Chew would already have to shave off the mustache if he's being Cher as Dorothy.
Well, no, he's Sonny. You're Cher.
No. For Dorothy and Sophia, that one, the tall one, was Cher, and he's taller than me. He'd have to shave the mustache, so we can't do that anyway.
He could wear a veil. He could just be in mourning and wear a veil.
You know, I don't think I told you, but this year he went as a circus strongman.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, that's a good role for him.
Well, give me the card. I can show it.
That mustache would be good for a circus strongman.
Oh, I can't show his face. That's true. I can put my finger over it.
What the fun is it?
People probably watching. People probably watching things choosing witness protection.
Blink out your
somewhere.
face, you silly person.
They're like, is this true? Like a witness protection? Like,
Can I just say how much it's funny that he keeps crawling around my chair behind me every time he has to pass by? It's hilarious.
you could go.
I'm kind of loving that he keeps crawling all over the floor.
I mean, if he's going to crawl, you can go as a dominatrix for Halloween too, and he can be your,
Guys, I'm gonna have to check out. So thanks for
Wait,
me on.
Wait.
Wait a minute, I got to pull you up here.
Actually, I can do it. Hey, I can do it better.
Okay, you can do it better. Do it better faster.
Oh, that's what she
Well,
said.
Well, you have to put it because
No, but does that look okay?
no, your mustache is there. Okay, so
Okay,
get it
pull
closer.
Up.
Lift it up. There you go.
This way. This way.
That's normally what she says. Up.
Yeah.
The mustache is like, it's a me, a Mario.
Yeah.
He has the barbell and he had the full thing and like the shirt with all the tattoos on it. And I'm over in the corner, like peeking in. But yeah.
And the belly over here is.
Yeah.
Your what you call it?
So yeah, he was a circus strongman for Halloween, and I was the bearded lady. So I did fake fur and actually like used glue and like glued it onto my face, so I had a full beard. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, you guys could go as Mario and the princess as well. That's another one too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Mario and the princess. We should do that. Mario and Princess Peach. We could totally do that.
Well, thank you, Dave. We're about to sign off anyway because it's 11 o'clock. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. It was lovely seeing you.
Yes, we'll see you guys later. All right.
Have a good one, my friend.
All right, you too. Take care.
And thanks for everybody that tuned in. We're going to go ahead and sign off because this is what we do at 11, and you guys are going to probably get ready to drive home anyway. So get the Uber or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be a Lyft tonight, I think.
Yeah. A Lyft in the Uber or just a Lyft in a Lyft. There you go.
Well, Lyft, Uber, whatever. It doesn't matter whichever one's cheaper, honestly. We check both and see which one gives us the better price.
I just remember I got cheesecake cookie dough for dessert.
Nice.
I'm going to eat that before I go to bed.
I have
don't
a
need to,
chocolate
but
chip
why
cookie
not?
from Jimmy John's and a pickle.
Jimmy John's. There you go.
No, you got a chocolate chip cookie now.
But
You did not eat my pickle. I'll kill you.
You better not eat her cookie.
He's saying he ate my pickle.
pickle?
I'm like, no fucking way you ate my pickle. I'll kill you.
Separate lifts on the way home.
It's separate lifts on the way home if he ate my pickle.
Well, right now, we're going to sign off. Thanks for everybody that tuned in. Would you guys like a little Dusty Rose on the way out? Maybe you would.
Yeah.
I had Dusty Rose coming in.
Oh, I didn't hear my turnaround song though. That sucks.
Next week.
Okay, that's okay. Next week. Oh, there's Chew saying goodbye.
Chew saying goodbye, Mr. Han. He had to leave Mr. Bill at some point. Now he's with Mal.
Oh no!
Join us again next Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern. That being said, this will get on up out of here. Y'all have a great weekend, and here you go.
Stables. Yeah, I'm looking for a horseman.
A horseman?
A horseman goes by the name of Rick.
Not here.
Are you a horseman?
I could be. What can I do for you?
Friday night, you can see me at War Games. Bring all your horsemen, because I will have Moondog Spot, Moondog Rex, and the Monkey Brothers. Yeah, I'm looking for a horseman goes by the name of Rick Flair.
Don't know him.
Could I leave a message?
I guess.
All right, write this down. Tell him it's Big Dust.
Okay.
The American Dream.
Okay.
Tell him to meet me Friday night, Starcade.
Meet you at the Stockade.
Yeah, Starcade, Friday night.
I don't know what you're wasting your time for.
Is this Baby Doll? Baby Doll, I know that was you Jezebel! Hello, I'm looking for some horsemen.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen.
Yes, sir. This is Big Dust calling on behalf of Crocker Promotions.
Can't hardly understand what you're saying, but...
Sorry, I got a little bit of a lisp. What about Chris Benoit? Oh, he did. Sorry.
No, I don't really know what you're talking about.
Is this J.J. Dillon's?
No.
Don't lie to me, JJ's. You and I go way back, Jack.
Well, it ain't JJ. You got the wrong person.
Don't mess with the American dream, JJ. My eyes are open as big as silver dollars, Jack.
Well, you got the wrong guy.
You and I, JJ, leather strap match. Dustin Rhodes is the master of the strap match. JJ Dillon, you a yellow dog.